Shalom, all praises to the Most High. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And that's all praises to the Most High in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly refers to as Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. I am your blessed brother, Captain Messiah, with another Wednesday night heat. So make sure you share this. For those of you that just tuning in for the first time, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because we're about to get into it, all right? So I want to welcome each and every one of you. Shalom and big ups to my TOC family. What up? What up? What up? All praises. So, yeah, man, let's just get it popping. Let's just get it jumping. All right. So, share this link. Let's get it out there. We about to go straight in. So, now, as the title suggests, it says this is going to change your perspective about the matrix. All right. This is going to change your perspective about the matrix. Now, what is the matrix? All right. What is the matrix? Now, the best way I could describe the matrix in a nutshell, right? The matrix is the system that has been fashioned and created that you live in. It's like your reality that is based on perception, but it's your reality. It's where you live. It's where you wake up. You go to work every morning. It's the thing that you have to, you're obligated to do in this society. You're connected to the matrix. You're plugged into the matrix. It's like the grid. It's the grid that sustains what society runs on. And if you're not part of the matrix, then society says you don't exist. Society says you're non-existent if you are not a part of this matrix. So again, the matrix, you hear that word a lot. They've made a movie, okay, off of that whole concept of the matrix. You understand that? With Neo and Morpheus and the director, the Wachowski siblings, right? They directed that movie. The first one was back in 1999. But I don't want to stray off topic too much. But like I'm saying, they made a movie that showed you basically the perception of your reality. But if you really think about it, and if you really check it out, it's a perception. Everything that has been shaped, formed, and fashioned, right? Which is your reality. All right. So the matrix. All right. This is going to change your perspective on the matrix. You understand that? So again, we said the matrix is basically the system that you have been plugged into. All right. Everything that you pay from, taxes, you pay bills, you go to work, you're plugged into this matrix that if you're not plugged in, as they say here in the Caribbean, even a dog is better than you. Or they say, dog better than you, right? So the matrix is something that we all are a part of, whether we like it or not. We are a part of this matrix. We're living in it. Now, some people have more or less accepted the fact that this is life. This is what their reality of life is. They've grown to know it. They've grown to accept it. So this is life for them. You go to work. Oh, let's scale it back. Before you go to work, you go to school. You do your lessons. You get out and you get good grades. You graduate high school. And you go to college. You graduate college or university or some tertiary education, right? And then mind you, but even before we get into all that, remind you, to get into university, you gotta pay hella money, all right? to get into their tertiary educational system, right? You got to pay hella money. And let's say you took a student loan to do that, right? You didn't have $120,000 just on deck like that. So you took a student loan, right? Now you got to pay that back with interest, right? As you come back into the work field after you've graduated and got a little piece of paper that now says you're qualified. You're qualified to work in a system that's going to rape and rob you and just suck you of all your life force. Mind you, that little piece of paper is what the thing that everyone is working towards, to the point where now that little piece of paper now has levels. There's levels to that piece of paper, right? There's levels to it now. There's, of course, your associate's degree. There's your bachelor's degree, right? Now there's your master's. There's your PhD. Now everybody's working in this system for that piece of paper. Well, those who are at least, system-minded and matrix-minded, that's the pinnacle of it for them. That's the accolades that they're striving to get. You understand? So in this matrix, you're taught from a very young age, go to school, get the good grades, and then, you graduate high school and you move on to tertiary education. You go to university, you get that little piece of paper, and by golly, you get to go right back into the system paying a student loan where you now have to work your way up into the corporate ladder, right? And some people will say, well, that's just the way society is. But here's the thing. Who made it like that? Who fashioned it like that? Who created it like that? You understand? So for those of you that you're saying, well, this is just the way life is, I challenge you. I challenge you to step outside the status quo and ask yourself, who created the system like that? And then when you start asking yourself those pertinent questions, then you can start deriving at some answers that show you that this whole thing is a simulation that they have you living in. And the moment you go outside of that simulation, the moment you go outside of that reality, then they start to say, oh, you're going against the grain, you're going against society. They start calling you crazy. They start calling you, they start ostracizing you. They start basically, demoralizing you, right? They start looking on you with disdain the moment you don't fit into their status quo, the moment you go against their narrative that they have cookie cutter chopped out for you. When you don't fit into that, if you're a round peg in a square hole, if you don't fit into that, then you get labeled. Of course, they stereotype you. You say you're crazy, you this, you that, because you don't fit into their mold of society. You understand? So this is the mold that has been created for us. And now let me tell you something. This goes all the way back, right? It's not just in this society. This goes all the way back to ancient civilizations when the Israelites were in captivity to these other nations. So don't fool yourself. This is something, it's not new. I want you to understand that. It's not new. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. You understand that? There's nothing new under the sun. As a matter of fact, let me pull up that scripture really quickly. Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes, let's go. Chapter 1 and verse 9. All right? Let's start from verse 9. Let me share my screen so each and every one of you can see. So this is nothing new. This has been happening. You understand? This has been happening. Let me share my screen really quickly so we can see the scriptures, because we want the scriptures, right? We need the scriptures. So Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. Let me know if y'all can see this clearly. All right. Or if I have to increase the zoom ability. Yeah, that's a word. The zoom ability. Y'all can see this, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. What it says? It says, The thing that has been, and the thing which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. You understand that? So the same way the matrix have you plugged in today is the same way the matrix had our forefathers plugged in back then. We were always plugged into a matrix that was shaped, fashioned, and formed by the other people, the other nations, the ones who had the ruling societies. And you could go, research history for yourself. You go as far back as the Romans, as far back as the Greeks, as far back as the Assyrians, as far back as the Babylonians, as far back as the Egyptians. You go all the way back. Every ancient civilization, right, and their hierarchy and how it's run, they have patterned it off of a formula that works. Again, they have patterned it off a formula that works. Let's read the next verse. So there's something the other nations they know that maybe you don't know. So that's why they keep replicating this system. They keep replicating that formula because it works. It works. You understand that? Look at this. Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 10. It says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new?" So this ain't nothing new. This matrix that you're living in 2022 is nothing new. It existed all the way back, going back to Egypt, then in Assyria, then in Babylon. Well, sorry, Babylon, then Assyria. You understand that? Then in Persia, then in Greece, in Rome, and of course, New Age Babylon, America. So all the major civilizations that were ruling, they implement the same strategy. Look what it says. It says, "See, there's nothing new under the sun." Look at this. It says, "There's nothing whereof it may be said, see, this is new. It hath been already of old time." So this system goes all the way back. This matrix, it goes all the way back. Remember, we are our forefathers. The Bible speaks about regeneration. You understand that? So of course they're gonna come back with the same spirit. They're gonna come back with the same mentality if they're of a ruling nation, the nation that puts the Israelites into captivity, right? Now it says it hath been already of old time, which was before us. So this matrix been here way before you. I want you to reformulate the way you think. Don't think that in 2022, because we got to go to our oppressors for want of all things, this is something new, or this is something relatively new. It's not anything relatively new, not even in the past 400 years. It goes way beyond that, way before that. You understand? Way back in Egyptian times. You understand that? So what I'm trying to show you is reformulate the way you think about this matrix that you're living in right now. It has been craftfully curated. It has been masterfully, honed and perfected. So it's like a grid type iron lock system because they've had centuries to work on this. I hope you're getting where I'm coming from with this. They've had centuries, thousands of years to craftfully hone in and perfect the system that oppresses you. You ever try to figure out, like, yo, why is the system so trunk tight that you can't really get away from it? Even some persons who try to, escape the system, live off the grid, they still run into problems. Like, for instance, in America, you cannot catch rainwater. Again, in America, you cannot catch rainwater without the government knowing, and they have to either charge you a tax for it or they deem it as illegal. Yes, believe me. Believe me. Let me see if I can pull that up. uh, let me see if I can pull that up for y'all. We don't like the saying stuff. We like to prove things. You understand? Uh, let me let me pull this up, man. Look at this. In certain states, you can't do that. Let me just let me pull this up for you guys really quickly. All right, look at this. Let me know if y'all can see this. Now it says collecting rainwater considered illegal in Utah and other states. And this is as far back as 2012. Look at right here. You understand that? It's an obscure piece of information regarding rainwater collection is making rounds online, continues to anger many across the United States. You understand that? So even when you try to live off the grid, family, you try to um, disconnect from the matrix that they've set up. Because think about this: when it comes to water that you either drink, you either use for your, domestic consumption, you have to pay a bill for that. Whether you're paying for it in the store to drink or you're paying for it to use in your domesticated endeavors. Running water in your house, you need to pay a water bill for that. So you got to ask yourself this question: when it comes to paying a bill or paying a fee to use something that the Most High God created as a free resource for persons to use freely, you got to ask yourself this question, fam: who made it so that you have to now pay for that? You're paying for the resources that the Most High made free. Natural elements. You understand? So what I'm trying to show you is this. There's nothing new under the sun. This goes all the way back to ancient civilizations when these other nations have figured out the best way to oppress a people is to make them pay for things that are readily available either by nature, right? Make them pay for things to that's deemed part of society. Like it's all about, if you want to be included in society, if you want to have the concept of inclusion, then what you have to do is partake by doing what? Purchasing the things that we created. Well, they didn't create it. They just created the concept around it that you should pay for it. That's all that it is. Right? So this is as far back as the matrix goes back in ancient civilizations who were ruling, who had our people enslaved. You understand that? So they have honed in, they have perfected, they have masterfully crafted this matrix system that live in. You understand that? So I want to welcome each and every one who's just joining us. If you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button because every week, every Wednesday, we're going to touch on topics that are pertinent. We're going to link it back to the scriptures. We're going to touch on things that are relevant. We're going to touch on things that are meaningful, for meaningful discussions. So, all the comments, I'll try to keep up with the comments, if there are any. If you have questions, feel free again. So, the Matrix, man, trying to change your perspective on the Matrix. Don't feel that this is something new. You understand? Ecclesiastes 1 and 10 says, there ain't nothing new. It's nothing that hadn't already been of old time, which was before us. You understand? So now, when it comes to the matrix and understanding what it is and understanding how it operates, you become an enemy of the system once you don't fit into that cookie cutter mold. Again, that cookie cutter mold of what they have created and fashioned for our people. And when I say our people, I mean the Israelites. The Israelites who have been scattered in the four corners of the earth for centuries. And every society that we get scattered in, we've been subjected. We've been subjected to their laws. We've been subjected to their system, to their matrix, to a whole system that they've carefully crafted out for us. You understand that they have had years to masterfully craft. So don't feel like everything has not been carefully and masterfully crafted from everything you pay. Like you pay an insurance. You got to pay a premium every month, right? Or every year, however they set it up for you, right? You can't have a mortgage without insurance, right? You can't have a car without a license. You can't have a car without wheel and road tax. You got to license that vehicle, right? You got to have a birth certificate, a death certificate. You got to have records in the system. You got to have a social security number. You got to have a patient ID number, right? You got to have a medicine, the medicine that goes in your arm, right? You got to have a number that correlates to that. You're a number. You're just a number in the system. I want everybody to understand that. You're not a person, right? And they've always looked at our people that way, as in you're not a person. You're a number. Now, I wanted to pull up something that I was going through the other night, right? I was going through this. Was it on Ancestry.com? Let me see if I find this. What's that? What is that site that you could look up? Your heritage and your forefathers. I can't remember this site. I wish I remembered this site. Oh my goodness. Um, I really can't remember. Let me see if I find it in my history, man. Let me see if I find it in my history because I really noted something the other night that kind of crushed me. It kind of. It's not that I didn't know this existed, but just reading it, right? It brought back a whole level of just trauma. You understand? Just a level of trauma. All right, let me see if I find this for you. I was looking up some information on my family tree and how they got over here and let me see. Okay, I think I found something here. I think I found something here. But I had to jump off the site immediately, man, because it was too, it was too crushing for me, man. It was too. Let me see. Let me look at it. I'm just searching for it. Just bear with me, family. Bear with me. I'm looking for something right now that pertains to some inkling of my family's history. Yes, it was Ancestry.com. It was Ancestry.com. Um, Let me see if I could find it. Nationality. Lived in St. Kitts. Let's find out. Let me see if I could do a search. All right. Let me share my screen with y'all. Let me share my screen with y'all. So y'all can search with me. All right. Y'all can search with me. All right. Y'all can search with me. Let me go on. Ancestry. Now, my government name is Turner. All right. For those of you that don't know, my government name is Turner. All right. Now I was looking up some information on Turner. About the enslaved, because there's not many Turners in St. Kitts. All right. There's a couple in Nevis. Um, a few, a small amount in St. Kitts, right? But then my mother was telling me that my grandfather on my father's side, they came over from Montserrat. You understand? They came over from Montserrat. So trying to I was trying to see if I could find any information, right? I just put it in search. What's going on here? Uh, Let me see if I could. They want me to sign. Listen, I don't want to sign up with nothing. I'm not trying to sign up. I'm trying to find the information pertaining to last name Turner, right? Live in country St. Kitts, St. Kitts Nevis. Um, yeah, let's see if we could. Oh, see, they don't. Oh my gosh. They want you to sign in and sign up. Let me see. Let's try to sign in and let's see what happens. All right. Uh, all right. Let's see what happens. I clicked sign up. All right, cool. Looks like we got somewhere. So this is Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica. No, we're not looking for Jamaica. Um, we are looking for 1800 censuses. They're showing me all Jamaica though. Seems like a lot of those lived over in Jamaica. Um, Trying to find it. Ooh, it's a lot of records. 104,000 records. I didn't see all these records the last time though. Let me see. Vincent Vincent Nevis. Record location. Mm-mm-mm. Man, it's probably going to take a while to find all of that, right? Um, yeah, this is showing me like different regions and locations. That's not what I'm trying to see. But then, anyhow, um, what I saw, family, was essentially this: they have records on all your family members who came over here on the ships, and those records show basically when the slaves died, how much insurance money was collected and who the beneficiary was. The beneficiary was the plantation estate, right? Whoever was in charge of the estate. The beneficiary, that would be the estate or the person that over the estate, and the money would go to the estate. So when you die, you literally are, um, a commodity that when you die, so they make money off of you when you're living. And then now, when the slaves died, they actually collected insurance money and it went straight back to the plantation estate when you died. Imagine that. It didn't go to your family, it didn't go to no next of kin, it went straight back to the beneficiaries, which were who? The plantation owners, the plantation masters. You understand that? So I'm trying to show you this. They built up their whole systems. They built up their banks, the insurance systems off of the backs of your forefathers. Now that crushed me when I was reading it, right? And it actually, when I saw someone who I presume to be one of my ancestors, because it showed that they came from Montserrat over to St. Kitts, right? And when they died, how much money went back to the beneficiary? I felt crushed. I felt like, wow, our ancestors was just really just a number to them. I couldn't continue on the website anymore, fam. So yeah, just give me a moment, yeah, because this always chokes me up when I read about what happened to our ancestors, but more so what happened to my specific ancestors. It really. makes my blood boil. It makes my blood bitter. So just bear with me, family. It's not easy speaking about that. I know a lot of people gonna be who not in the spirit may say, well, that was just in the past. Let bygones be bygones. But listen, man, when you're reading about records that happened to your family, your direct ancestors, that strikes a nerve, family. It strikes a nerve like you can't even imagine. It's one thing, watching a slave movie. It's one thing, reading about history that happened to our forefathers. But when you're reading about something that directly happened to your particular lineage, your patrilineage on your father's side, that does something to you, family. You understand? And then just seeing how they treated us like objects on a farm animals, that when we died, they collected money. Imagine that. They collected money when you died as insurance, them being the beneficiaries. That's how they built up their banks. That's how they built up the insurance. The same insurance that, huh, ironically, we take part of today. All the insurance partners that have these conglomerates around the Caribbean that has, insurance companies here and there, based in America, based in China, that have conglomerates around the Caribbean. That's how they built up their money. You understand that? Leveraging slave labor, leveraging slave insurance beneficiary money when they died. That's how they built up their system. The system that you so love today, the system that you so want to be included in today, the system that you don't think is a system, the system that you don't think is a matrix. You love that system. Some of y'all, not all of y'all. Some of y'all love that system so much that you want to be included so heavily into that system that anything that the system does, you think is for your benefit. But you don't realize this goes all the way back, way before slavery, man. Because the Israelites were always slaves in somebody else's kingdom. Again, the Israelites were always slaves in somebody else's kingdom, building up their system, building up their kingdom, building up their railways, building up their economy. Their economy has always been able to thrive because of us, our talent, our labor, our ingenuity, our inventions, everything that we bring to the table. They've always been able to profit off of us, benefit off of us, and then turn around and put a system that works against you. Mind you, they profit off of you. They profited off of your forefathers, then created a system that works against you. And that is being neck deep in the matrix, or I should say head deep. You're head deep in the matrix and you have no idea that you are. Resources that's supposed to be free of charge, that the Most High created for you to use, his children. But now you're now being charged a fee, a monthly fee, every month to use the things of their system. You want something of value, of worth, you got to go where? To a bank. The same bank that leveraged slave money to build up its assets. But you so much believe in the banks that you want to go to the bank to get such a great loan to go flex on somebody else, to say, I got more debt than you. Modern day slavery, living in the matrix all the way up to your head. Some people so embroiled in it on a corporate level. When I say corporate level, I'm speaking about those corporate companies, those utility companies. Yeah, those companies that make a profit, they make a mint off of your monthly service to them. Your monthly service to them. Family, the good thing is this. The Most High has been giving us the wisdom to expose the matrix. The bad thing is this. You could try to go against the matrix, but the matrix has been so carefully crafted over thousands of years that is so perfectly knitted, finely knitted together. It's almost like you can't get away from it. You can't get away from the system, even if you try to. Let's say you go try to live in the jungle, in the forest, right? Guess what, man? You're not existent to the system. Now, there's some people who figure, well, I could go live in the forest, but trust me, you out there long enough, and what's gonna happen, man? You're gonna deteriorate. You're going to need something from the system. No matter how much self-sufficient you try to be, you're going to need some aspect of the system in order to get by. That's how tightly knit they've created it. Remember, they've had thousands of years to master this to the point where they know even if you try to go live off the grid, we just read catching rainwater is against the law. Again. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, if you want to get off the matrix, plug away from the matrix, jump off and go against the grain, you're going to have to break their laws. You're going to have to go against their system, which isn't advisable. When I say it isn't advisable, you do that at your own risk. You do that knowing fully well what's the consequence. And once you know what's the consequence and you're fully well prepared to deal with those consequences, then I would say by all means. But if you don't know what that entails and you don't know what the consequences are, and you have no clue of what going against that grain is going to look like, then I would implore you, do your research first. Find out what you're up against, because this beast is no joke. This beast called the system, it's no game, it's no joke. It ain't something small that you could just evade. It's not something small that you could just ignore. The beast has had thousands of years to grow. So I want you to understand what you're up against. And that's why so many people would gladly join hands with the beast. Again, that's why, sadly, persons would gladly join hands with the beast, which is a sad thing. They would just willingly, because they don't want to go against the grain. They don't want to go against the status quo. They don't want to go against the system. They don't want to go against the beast, because they've looked over yonder and they've realized going against the beast, it don't look too bright over there. Oh, going against the beast, it looks like we're not going to be living the type of comfort, the type of amenities that we would like to live. So that's why so many people would gladly, and it is really sadly, it's really sadly, they would gladly join hands with the system, join hands with the beast, and they would turn around and ostracize, alienate, and demoralize anybody that's not joining in with the system. But you're just a puppet. You're just a sheep flowing along with the same system that has oppressed and subjugated your people for thousands of years. You're a sheep. Yeah, Cap, did you just say it's against us? Says, yeah, in certain places it's illegal. We just pulled up the website that shows you in Ohio and a couple other states, it's illegal to catch rainwater. So if they've made it illegal to catch rainwater in certain states, they're trying to put a monopoly on natural resources again. And mind you, this was since 2012. 2012, they started clamping down on people catching rainwater. in America. You understand that? It's illegal. You can't just catch rainwater. The government saying they own that, just like they're saying they own everything else, right? So be be very aware of what a monopoly is. When you own a monopoly on resources, essentially you own the resources, and now you get to lease parts of these resources to, the wider society at a rate. Of course, you charge each person in society a certain amount to use the natural resource. Mind you, they didn't create the natural resource, the Most High God did. But now they have cleverly crafted a system whereby they're in control of the system, they're in control and rulership. As a matter of fact, let's pull up a scripture really quick. You hear the scripture all the time. All the time. Job 9 and verse 26. I'm sorry, 27. 27. Job 9 and 27. Job, sorry, 24. I'm off today, man. I'm off. Job 9 and 24. Let me share my screen. This is what you got to understand. The Most High said this would happen. The Most High said these other nations would form this matrix. Look at this. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. In other words, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked mean the other nations. Of course, the chief of those other nations, the chief of those strangers, those other nations, is, of course, the Caucasians, the Edomites, as the Bible so describes them, the Edomites. Because when you read Malachi 1, now we're going to pull that up. We're going to pull that up after this to show you who the wicked is. Now it says, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the earth is given into a wicked nation right now. The earth is owned by a wicked nation right now. The earth has been fashioned and basically curated in such a way whereby the wicked, they're in control, and now they've made systems that you live in called the matrix. I want you to reformulate the way you think. Ever since the days of antiquity, right? Because we fell from grace, we fell from our rightful estate. Now the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So now, if you got wicked people in rulership, what do you think, family? I got a question. What do you think they're going to do when you have the wicked in rulership? That's a question I got for y'all. When the wicked is in rulership, what happens? Someone tell me? And someone tell me what happens when the wicked rules. Huh? Let's go to Proverbs 29 and verse 2. I'm going to show you what happens when the wicked rules. Proverbs 29 and verse 2. Look at this. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's why in this wicked matrix that you're living in, people can't catch a break. That's why your money done even before you get paid. That's why you're trying to save money that going towards you and your family future, but then the system is set up in such a way whereby you don't even get to use that money the right way. You've been saving for the past 8 years, 9 years, but then the food that Esau is manufacturing, right, is making you so sick that you don't realize on the insides of your body, right, is deteriorating. Well, mind you, you've been saving this money for the past 3-4 years, and you've been feeling good because you've been meeting a target that you've been accomplishing for the past couple of years. So you feel good. You feel like, yeah, I got this money. Yeah, I got, you know what I'm saying? I'm saving this money. It's looking good. I liking how the balance looking. But then here's the thing. You're eating foods that these other nations, they make the GMO foods and the chemical laced foods and the exposure to carbon monoxide and industrial toxins and all these toxins. Just the other day I was driving, leaving home, and I was smelling this stench. And could you imagine that's coming straight from the landfill? Chemical laced landfill smoke coming straight through your car window. So the earth, right? When it's in rulership by wicked persons, the people will mourn. So that's why you're mourning every time when you get paid and you gotta pay for things that should really be free. You're paying for water, you're paying for power, right? Now look at that. We have the sun. The Most High created the sun for us to harness the energy of the sun, right? And to be able to power our lives on a daily basis. As the sun shines, we're supposed to be able to power our lives harnessing the sun. But they said, no, 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 no. We're not going to allow y'all to harness the power of the sun. We're going to create electricity. And, well, they didn't create electricity. They learned how to control it. They've learned how to, utilize it. They've learned how to, make it transposable into other forms, changing it from the sheer raw energy. And they've learned how to utilize electricity. But make no mistake about it, they did not invent or create electricity, because when you see a storm passing through, you see them fork lightning going down to the ground. The Most High is the creator of electricity. You understand that? But they've learned how to utilize that power to power the homes with electricity and charge you a fee for it. So that's why you got to go and pay the power company every month for natural resources, which they power their turbines by, fuels. Okay, they got to buy the crude oil that goes into their turbines that power the generators that then give you electricity. So it's all a carefully crafted system. Now, they've been saying for a long time, oh, they want to go solar, they want to go solar, they want to go solar. Well, bet your bottom dollar, even when they make that transition and they do go solar, they're still going to what? Charge you for the sun. Imagine that. Charging us for the sun. And the sun is free. But they say because we've given you the technology to be able to transpose or to transmit the sun's energy into your home, you got to pay us for having the technology to be able to convert the sun's energy into a working form that could power up your electronics and the things in your home, right? They're going to charge you for that, even though the sun is free. But where we're going with this is that when it comes to the system and looking at how the system is carefully crafted and created, right? Do you realize that literally we are the ones who are actually in control of whether or not these systems get to thrive? You're in control of that. Now, what do I mean by that? You're in control of that. If we're the ones that's paying their bills, paying their money, and enabling their corporate greed, what if we just stop paying for this stuff? What if we just stop? But you would say, whoa, I can't do that. I can't live without internet. I can't live without electricity. I can't live without running water. I can't. You might not be able to live without it, but then, you'll be able to stifle their system to the point where now, if we learn how to pool our resources together, get some of the greatest minds together, just like we did before in times past. We did that on Black Wall Street. We did that on previous times. But every time we try and do something for ourselves, every time we try to Zephaniah 2:1, every time we try to do this, every time we try to Zephaniah 2:1, and it says, Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Every time the nation that's enslaved, which is in the Israelites, every time we try to gather ourselves together, what happens? They get word of it, they get wind of it, and they try to take us out, just like they did on Black Wall Street. They don't want us to be great. They don't want us to come together. They don't want us to pool our resources together. They don't want to see their system crumble. They have taken, a lot of careful time to carefully and craftfully hone and perfect this wicked system that they've created. And the moment they get word that you're plugging out from their matrix, they're going to now retaliate in one way or another. Now, when it comes to, persons who, you know, they don't have as much wealth and status, they might just use physical means first and just, send a couple viruses your way, send a couple bombs your way, take you out. But then when it comes to someone who's connected, who has money, who has, different resources available to them, they first got to, try different ways to, you know, pick you off of society and call you crazy and then get people to turn against you. The number one thing that I see the elites do when it comes to someone who has money, how they try to destabilize that person is first, they got to turn everyone against that person. Make that person seem like the enemy. Make that person seem crazy. And case in point, what's going on with Kanye West right now, it's a breath of fresh air, yes. Now, let me just make, a statement concerning Kanye West. I don't agree with everything the brother says and how the brother says it and how he brings it across. But that's neither here nor there. Whether or not I agree with everything he says, that's beside the point. What matters right here, right now, is what's on the table with regard to Ye or Kanye, as many of us know him as. What's on the table right now is that he made some statements that ruffled some feathers, and the statements were accurate statements. But because of who he's going up against, he's going up against the head of the beast itself. Because if you understand anything about this matrix system, who's at the helm or who's at the head of this matrix system, right? And for those of you that don't know, the ones who funded the slave ships that came over to the Western world that brought your forefathers over here, who funded those slave trade expeditions were the so-called Jewish people who are really the Ashkenazis. They funded that. They funded the trips. They funded the boats. They funded the whole excursions. You understand that? So today in 2022, they are the owners of the record labels. They're the owners of Wall Street. They're the owners of the Diamond District. They're the owners of Hollywood. Listen to me. They own majority of the stocks that you see that's coming up on the stock market. These so-called Jewish people have a lot of control in America and around the world as well. And if you speak about them, or if you speak in any way, shape, or form that's unsavory regarding to anything that's about them, what's going to happen is that they're going to now start an all out, they're going to wage a war against whoever. Now, if you're a small fish like me, right? They're not going to really try to, I say a couple unsavory things on this channel here. The most they might do is just, the algorithms, because of course, YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all these things that are connected, they're run by so-called Jewish people, as y'all know. I don't know if y'all know that, but the most they might do is just, block the video, take it down, report it for quote unquote anti-Semitism, which is a misnomer because we are Semites. We came out of Jacob, right? So we can't be anti-Semitic if we are the Shemites. We came out of Shem, right? So again, the most they would do when it comes to a small fish is block the video, take it down, have it reported, blase blase blah. But when it comes to a big fish, somebody like Kanye West, somebody like who really up there, who got millions, even billions, they would now ostracize them. They would get everyone to turn on them, and they would also give that person a public flogging. And when I say public flogging, I mean proverbially so. Proverbial public flogging. And what, as we gonna go into right now, you can see Kanye getting a public flogging right now from the so-called Jewish people. Now imagine that. Before I go into that, imagine this: you got the fake Jews that's angry with the real Jews for calling out the fake Jews. Imagine that. You can't make this up. The fake Jews are mad at the real Jews for calling out the fake Jews. What type of world we're living in right now? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody make it make sense? Can somebody help me to understand how the fake Jews are trying to be mad at the real Jews for calling out and putting on blast the fake Jews who are the Khazarians, the Ashkenazis, the Sephardics, the Germanics, who's been given that land in 1948. That ain't your land, Mr. Sephardic, Mr. Ashkenazi, Mr. Mr. wannabe Jew, you who wish you were a Jew, you Jewish, who try to convert to our our culture, our traditions. You try to convert. You understand that? But that's not your lineage. You never went on cargo slave ships, Mr. Ashkenazi, Mr. Sephardic, you Mr. Fake Jew. You never went on slave ships like Deuteronomy 28. For those of you that are watching real quick. For those of you who just tuning in, I want to welcome you. Hit that subscribe button, family. All right. Every week we're going to be going in on different topics. Let me pull this up real quick, man. Tell me when this happened to a fake Ashkenazi. Deuteronomy 28. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Let me see when this happened. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. Let's see this. Let me share my screen really quickly. I can see this, right? Good. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68, because the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68, in verse 46, watch this, in verse 46, it says these curses, watch this, verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So these curses, how you going to know who the real Jews are, is that these curses listed in Deuteronomy 28 is only going to apply to one nation of people. You're going to only be able to pinpoint one nation this has happened to. Now we're going to go to one of the curses in verse 68. And let's see if those fake Ashkenazi, Sephardic, Germanic people fit that curse. Let's go down to verse 68, shall we? Verse 68. Let's read. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So the first time we went into Egypt, we went in on foot, family. Now it's saying we're going to go back into Egypt again. So this was a future prophecy being read to the Israelites by Moses that y'all going to go into slavery again. And this slavery, which Egypt is synonymous with, it's going to be a different type of slavery where y'all going to go in by ships. Look at right here. It says, Egypt again with ships. Watch this. By the way whereof I spake unto the question to the Ashkenazi so-called Jewish people, the Sephardic so-called Jewish people, the Germanic so-called Jewish people. right? When did your forefathers go into captivity on ships? Name the time, name the place, name the historical reference, name it. That's what we want to know. So how the fake Jews getting mad at the real Jews, who's the Negroes, who this evidently happened to? We went into captivity again by the way of slave ships. That happened to our forefathers. So how y'all getting vexed with Kanye West, right? Who changed his name to Ye? How is it y'all getting vexed with him for calling out y'all fakeness? For calling out who the real Jews are. We are the real Jews. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and indigenous people. You are the real Jews that the Bible speak of. Now watch this. It says, and you're going to be sold unto your enemies for slave men and slave women, bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you, meaning no man shall redeem you. Nobody going to be able to take us out of these curses because even in 2022, we're still going through these curses of being in this matrix, right? This matrix that we in. Look at this, verse 48. You caught up in a matrix and you don't even know it. Look at this. You're serving your enemies and you don't even know it. You ain't even know it. Watch this. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger. When you were hungry back then in that previous matrix, you had to ask your slave master for food. Look at this. In thirst and in nakedness. So guess what? Back then you had to ask your slave master for something to drink when you were thirsty, for food on your, for clothes on your back when you were naked and you were destitute and you were in need of clothes. Watch this. And in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. So question, which people had yokes of iron or chains of iron upon their necks? I'll wait. Was it the Sephardic Ashkenazis or who was it? Or was it the so-called Negroes had chains upon their neck working for nothing? Not even a red cent. Right? Look at this. Until he have destroyed thee. And we so destroyed today, we don't even realize you're living in a matrix. You think the matrix is normal. You're like, Cap, that's just the matrix. They ain't saying that's just the matrix. They're saying, well, Cap, that's just the way life is. You know, we can't change it. It's just the way life is. That's because you are literally mentally destroyed. That's what it's talking about. It says, until he have destroyed thee. So you're currently caught up in the matrix right now, right? You were caught up in the matrix back then, and now you're caught up in the matrix right now. And you don't realize that you're mentally destroyed. You're thinking that this is life. You're thinking that this is what it is. You understand? Now realizing, listen, man, this is not the way that life was supposed to be. As a matter of fact, let's go to Second Ezra. Let's go Second Ezra 6, and I think it's verse 50. Let's start from verse 55. Look at this. Verse 55. Look at this. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. So the Most High made the world for the sake of the Israelites. Ooh, I know that, you know, it ruffled some feathers, right? For those of you that love y'all oppressors, you ain't gonna like that scripture. Watch this. Verse 56. As for the other people which also came of Adam, thou hast says that they are nothing. So the other nations, the Bible says they are nothing. Watch this. But be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the Most High don't classify those other nations, even though they're ruling right now, even though the earth is given into the hand of the wicked right now, even though they have formulated this matrix that they have us living in, and that's one of the reasons why he likened them unto spittle, because he don't revere them, he don't regard them, he don't acknowledge them like the way he acknowledges us. So mind you, they feel like they're superior right now because they're ruling the other nations. But they don't realize it has been given to them. Just like it mentions in Job 9 and 24. It has been given to them. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So it has been given to them by Yahweh, but they're thinking that they acquired it all on their own. They're thinking that they acquired it because they're so special. They're thinking that they acquired it because they're so intelligent. They're thinking that they acquired it because they're so superior. No, they're not. The book of Job said they're the basis of men. The Edomites, they're the basest of men, meaning they're the lowest of all men. And of course, if they came from the Caucasus Mountains, right? They came from Mount Seir. They were the original cavemen. We taught them how to bathe. We taught them how to smell fresh, to clean up themselves. We taught them how to count. We taught them how to do math. We taught them science. We taught them basic irrigation and water filtration. We taught them all of that. But they think they're so special now because they have advanced in certain technological areas. The Most High gave that to them as their portion for now, for this time being. Let's read on. It says, and has likened the abundance of them abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the Most High said, he don't regard them to the point where it's like you have a bucket full of water and a drop that falleth from a vessel. You don't care about that. You don't regard that. You don't acknowledge that. If a drop out of a bucket full of water drop on the ground, you don't even acknowledge that. That's how he look at these other nations. You understand that? Let's read verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. I want to stop right there. It says, these heathen, these other nations, right, who the earth has been given into the hand of, it says the Most High said that they're nothing. So mind you, they feel they're something. They feel so. But the Most High gave that into their hands just to punish us for what we've done. And we're going to get that shortly, right? It says they have now begun to be lords over us. Now, when it comes to them being lords over us, that goes into them formulating the matrix, family. That goes into them formulating a system, a matrix, a beast of a system that you cannot get out of, that you're going to literally pay your way into until you die. How much it costs for a funeral? Does anybody know how much it costs for the average funeral? Right? How much it costs for the average funeral? That's how they've made it to the point where now the average funeral costs between $10,000 and $15,000. Between $10,000 and $15,000. Now, of course, they carefully crafted it and curated it that way because they know the average family not just gonna have $10,000 to $15,000 laying around. So normally, if your family member passes away, they say, "Oh, we're gonna give you a payment plan," or do you have the magic word, which is insurance? That's how the funeral director looking at you. He looking at you sideways with his glasses down over his eyes, and he peeping through the glasses like, "Yo, you got the insurance money? I know you got some kind of insurance, right? Because we trying to get paid." But I'm trying to show you something. The whole system works together, hand in hand. You understand that? Fingers in gloves. Works together. I want to show you that. I want you to reformulate the way you think about this matrix that you're living in. It has been done so by design. It has been done so on purpose. It ain't haphazardly happened. It ain't randomly happened to the point where this is just the way things is because it just randomly happened like that. Funerals just don't randomly cost $15,000. The reason why they carefully crafted and curated it like that is so that because the system thrives on money, so they got to buffer up and pad up everything to get more money. And if the average family not going to have $10,000 to $15,000 laying around, if a family member passes away, then obviously it got to come from somewhere, right? So it's either you're going to run a GoFundMe or you're going to do what? Have that insurance money on lock. And that insurance money is sure because whoever the beneficiary is, when that person passed away, just like when we were slaves and we passed away, the beneficiary got the money, which was the slave masters. It's the same system that you are part of right now. So when you get insurance, it goes to your beneficiary, whoever you set up as the beneficiary. They get the money, and usually, a lot of times, you hear a person say, "Well, it was just enough money to bury my auntie. It was just enough money to bury my uncle. It was just enough money to bury whomever," because that's how they have the system set up, right? Now, if the amount, the premium amount was this outrageous amount, it was like maybe some $1 million, $1 million policy. Um, there's ways that people rook or they milk these insurance companies, but at what expense? At the expense of your family member dying, at the expense of you dying. So you gotta die in order for your family to get over $50,000. It's crazy, right? It's crazy how the whole system is set up that you gotta die in order for your family to get something. You can't just have a regular inheritance setup. You gotta die in order for your family members to receive the money that they need to just bury you. Just to bury you. You understand that? So now, we want to give all praises to the Most High once again. If you're just joining us, be sure to subscribe. All right. We got Wednesday night heat every Wednesday night. This Wednesday night in particular, again, this is going to change your perspective about the matrix, this matrix that we're living in. And we're about to get into, is Kanye crazy? Is Kanye West crazy? Well, let me finish out this scripture really quickly. All right. Now look at this. They have been reputed as nothing, these other nations, and they have begun to be lords over us. So any nation that has been lords over us ever since the Egyptian empire, they have implemented things to further oppress us, to further devour us. It's literally what it means. You're being devoured right now by the matrix. You don't even know it. For those of you that's still sleeping, you're being devoured by the matrix, but you love the matrix so much that you're swimming in it. When you see like on TV, somebody jump in the pool and they kind of spooting the water out of their mouth when they're floating on their back because they're just in love with the matrix. They love the matrix so much they're swimming in it, they're diving in it, they're having a great time in it. They're just loving it. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're being devoured. You are being devoured because look at how the matrix treats you like a number. You've begun to think this is normal. You've normalized the matrix. We've always normalized the matrix for thousands of years. But begin to redevelop the way you think about the matrix. Look at this. Verse 58. But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn. So we're not supposed to be in no matrix because we're the Most High's firstborn. We're supposed to get the first of everything that he gives us that is good. Right? But we did something. We went against his commandments. So that's why now we've been given into their hands. Watch this. Thy only begotten and thy fervent lover are given into their hands. And when you're given into their hands, they could do whatever they want with you, impose whatever taxes they want on you. You understand that? Look at this, verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? You don't inherit an inheritance with the world because the system that the world has set up is against you. That's why you're not going to possess an inheritance. Now we trying to, set up things in these last days as we see things are shifting, whereby the Most High is getting ready to hand over the wealth of the wicked into the hands of the righteous. We're seeing a major shift happen. We're seeing a major awakening happening. People are waking up at astronomical rates. The Most High is using persons who you never thought would be bringing out, truth. He's using them, persons who you written off before, persons who you just didn't regard anymore, persons who you thought were crazy. He's using persons of influence to really bring the awareness out there of who the Israelites are. You understand that? Because we don't possess an inheritance. We're trying to get ready to that transitional period where we can possess an inheritance. But I'll be honest with you, in this wicked world, it's not going to happen. You're not going to inherit the type of, or you're not going to possess the type of inheritance that's you could leave back for generations. You might be able to leave back something for your children if you're lucky. Maybe for your grandchildren if you're really lucky and you got favor with the Most High God, right? But in terms of living back that long, long money, I'm saying, that century long money, it ain't gonna happen because this wicked world has been set against you. That's why you're not gonna possess an inheritance with the world. But hear what the prophet Ezra asks, and he says, how long shall this endure? Like, how long do we gotta wait to actually possess an inheritance? We've been in captivity for so long, right? Going through slavery after slavery, from the Egyptian slavery to the Babylonian slavery to the Assyrian slavery to the Persian slavery to the Mede slavery to the Greek slavery to the Roman slavery to the transatlantic slave trade, American slavery. All these slaveries that we've been in, we're trying to figure out how long is this going to endure, because we've been from captivity to captivity, being in matrix to listen, your children are being born into a matrix. We're trying to figure out how long shall this endure. How long? Because right now we cannot possess an inheritance. You might try. Now we're seeing things ease up a little bit to the point where now you could tell, if you're a observer of the seasons, you could tell the Most High is getting ready to do a shift of transferring, or the transferal of wealth is now moving from the elite, the wicked elite of the world, over to the righteous of the world. So for those of you that's keeping the commandments, now is the time to strike. Now is the time to work on that, business idea that you had. Now is the time to set foot on your goals. Now is the time to really go forth, and the things that you never thought you could accomplish. Now is the time to try and accomplish that, because there's a transferal of wealth that's taking place where we're coming back for the new kingdom, and it's going to happen in such a way whereby the Gentiles, the other nations, they're going to be shocked as to what is getting ready to take place in these last days. Yes, we got some dark days coming up. Yes, we got Jacob's trouble intensifying coming up. Yes, we got to go through some things, but guess what? There's also going to be a transferal of wealth happening to the righteous. But here's the thing. Here's the catch-22. In order to be successful, now it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be some persons the Most High is going to put in key positions financially because of what's to come. He has to put certain key persons in position so that our people are properly protected and provided for. Persons who are prudent with money, they're persons who have a leadership mentality, persons who have the ability to plan, to look into the future, to see how they can put things in place, delegate persons to do certain things for what's to come. So the wealth that's getting ready to be transferred is not so much so that you can live a comfortable life. The wealth that's being ready to get transferred is so that we can prepare for what's to come, so that we can be a little bit better off in a situation whereby we're not reliant on the system. Again, the transferal of wealth that's about to take place is going to take place with certain key persons, not everyone, not irresponsible persons, not persons who can't manage money, not persons who can't manage wealth, persons who know how to balance, persons who know how to manage, persons who know how to have that good work ethic, that good mindset, how to look into the future and be able to delegate, good leadership skills. You understand that? Good management skills. The Most High is going to utilize these persons and put key persons in position financially to be able to now protect what his people in what's to come. He can't give that to everyone. He can't give that to irresponsible persons. He can't give that to careless persons. He can't give that to persons that's not keeping the commandments. So for those of you who listening right now, you have that leadership mentality. You have, good, prudent, disciplined ways about yourself. You're focused. You have consistency. You have all the qualities that the Bible really speaks about in good leadership. The Most High may be getting ready to use you as a vessel for transferal of wealth, and it's going to manifest in a way whereby everything that you touch is going to succeed. But it's not for you. Like a selfish person would say, "Oh, I'm succeeding because the Most High want me to be rich so that I could have this wealth for myself." That means you're not going to be that person. That means he's not going to use you as that vessel because you're already gone wrong. You're already thinking about just yourself and your family. But he's going to utilize key persons who have a macro mentality, not a micro mentality, a nation mentality. He's going to utilize persons who have a nationwide mentality to put things and systems in place for their people. So by the time now we go through Jacob's trouble, certain persons who keeping the commandments, they can be sustained because of the wise leadership that the Most High put the Spirit on these people to gather, certain resources for the people. So he's not going to give that to everybody. But the prophet Ezra was asking, how long shall this endure? Right? How long are we going to have to go through this matrix? Verse, but yeah, let's go straight into Kanye, man. Let's go straight into Kanye. But how y'all feeling though? How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Feeling good, feeling great. Hope y'all feeling the same way. Again, if you're just tuning in, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification button so that you receive all the live notifications for whenever we go live. You understand that? All praises to the Most High. If y'all got questions, be sure to ask in the midst of me going through these scriptures and going through real life. Because again, you got to be able to go through real life and link back the scriptures to it. That's the problem with modern day Christianity. You don't see any linking back to the scriptures because, to be frank, they talking a bunch of stuff that ain't even linked to the Bible. You understand that? That's why we break it down. You gotta be able to be taught the Bible by someone who will break it down for you on a practical level. And that's the difference between the truth and modern day Christianity. Modern day Christianity, you don't know what they're talking about. You would have been locked off a long time ago. For those of you that's listening, that's in the spirit, you'd have been locked off a long time ago if it was just Christianity with some pastor on here talking about, and the Lord said, hallelujah, hallelujah, and then talking about Rabba Sada, Rabba Rabba, Robo Sunday. Like, listen, man, it's 2022. We don't got the time for that because the time for playing church is over. The time for Christianity is over because that's part of the beast as well. Modern day Christianity is part of that matrix as well that have you looped in. Right? That's why modern day Christianity thrives off of money. You understand that? It's part of the matrix as well. But we ain't gonna go into that part this evening. We're gonna save that part of the matrix for another time. You understand that? But Wednesday night heat, man. We're trying to change your perspective about the matrix. And then also we're trying to figure out, like, yo, is Kanye West crazy? No. Here's my take on it. Again, I do not think Kanye West is crazy. Now, does he say some inflammatory things? Absolutely, he says inflammatory things. But somebody got to say it. Shit. Somebody got to say it, right? Because no, if the truth don't come out, right? Trust me, one of these scared puppies, they ain't gonna do it. One of these scared puppies with the tail between the legs, they're not going to be the ones that's going to speak some truth on a world platform with such a platform such as Kanye, a platform such as that. Now he's being utilized by the Most High, whether he knows it or not. Do you understand that? Whether he knows it or not. Now, I want to go through some of the things. Now, he had a lot of interviews lined up back to back. Some of them got taken off of YouTube. Some of them still remain. Certain persons, it's funny and ironic because even though he's being bashed by the same community that's saying he's going against the grain, he's speaking anti Semitic comments, a lot of these same persons who are in cahoots with the so-called Jewish persons, they want to interview him. They want that hot off the press interview with him, still milking us, still trying to get their reviews and ratings up, still trying to, use us, man. Y'all don't see this? It's all part of the matrix. And listen, Kanye is being clever. He knows he's being used, but no, he's using the platform while knowing he's being used to speak that truth on the platforms that will get heard. So persons who say, "Oh, why Kanye keep going on their shows if he's speaking again?" Like he's being like the same clever, masterfully crafted ways that their ancestors and they do today by creating a matrix that you're a part of is the same way we got to be clever and creative and use their platforms and put them on blast on their platforms. So some of you simple Negroes are talking about, oh, why Kanye going on their platforms if he don't like them or he don't listen. This is chess, not checkers. For those of you that don't know, this is chess, not checkers. The Most High is a master strategist. You understand that? He's a master strategist. And just because you don't understand what the Most High is doing, who he's utilizing, how he's doing it, right? Just because you don't understand means that what's happening right now is going against the will of the Most High. Some of you never read the scriptures that say everything is of the Most High. Some of y'all never read that scripture before, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We gonna bring it to your awareness so you can see everything that's happening is of the Most High. Now, let's go through one of these interviews where Kanye. Now, I'm gonna let you be the judge. I'm gonna let you be the judge. You tell me if y'all think Mr. West, affectionately known as Ye, if y'all think that he off his rocker, missing some screws, right? He lost his marbles. All right. Let me see if I could pull this up for you guys. Let me see if I could pull it up. All right. Watch this. Let me see if y'all could. Okay, good. I'm gonna maximize this. Good. Y'all can see this, right? All praises. Good. So now I'm gonna just play this. Let me know the volume is good. All right. Let me know if the volume is good.
In a peaceful way. As long as the people that know how to make robots aren't using their robots to control the humans.
Y'all can hear the thing good, right? Like y'all not hearing any like feedback, any echoing. Y'all not hearing none of that, right? Let me know if you're hearing feedback and echoing. Just let me know, and I'll just mute the microphone.
Lex, definitely is something you have to be concerned about as we become more technologically savvy. That, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war. We're still in the Holocaust. A Jewish friend of mine said,
"Ooh," he said, "We're still in the Holocaust." So, in a very clever way, he's discrediting the so-called Jewish Holocaust and saying we're still in the real Holocaust. Pay attention.
Come go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood.
He said our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood, because the so-called Jewish Holocaust, they try to say, over like 6 million so-called Jewish people died, which they found out that was fake. That wasn't real. Them numbers were trumped up, right? And now he said, look about our Holocaust. It's still going on, number one, because our people still being murdered at a mass rate. Y'all got to read between the lines there, yeah, you know. You got to read between what, trust me, yeah is fully calculated. You understand that? Y'all thinking he off his rocker. He not, though. He's just speaking some truth that's upsetting some people. And when you speak truth, you're going to upset people.
With all due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union. I'm Jewish. Parts of my family perished.
No, you're a Khazar. You're not a Jew. You're not a Jew at all. Your families did not go into cargo slave ships as per Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68.
In the Holocaust of Nazi Germany, I have to push back that there is a difference of the atrocities at that scale, at that time, on an entire people.
I was going to say the number, that's the difference.
It's not.
Ooh, the number. That's the difference. Because if you compare what they so claim that the so-called Jewish, how many persons died in the Holocaust, can that compare to the amount of persons who died centuries, in a span of centuries, from the Egyptian time to now, right? And like Ye said, our Holocaust still going on. Our people still getting murdered to this day. To this day. So then do them numbers.
The number.
Because 6 million will also, African Americans are actually Jew also. The lost tribe of Israel.
Push back on that too.
Okay, so
the white boy didn't want to hear that. He did not. Look at his face. He did not want to hear we the real Jews. Let's go, Kanye. Let's go. I got to carry that back. But even though Kanye's saying it a little incorrect, it's still, the information is still valid. We the 12 tribes of Israel. He's saying the 12 tribes of Judah. That's all right. Just that if one of y'all who from a camp listening right now get in contact with Kanye West, we going to get him right. We going to get him right. Send him a DM. Let him know the actual term is the 12 tribes of Israel, but he on the right track. You understand that? We with you, yeah? We with you. Let me carry this back just a couple seconds, man.
because 6 million will also, African Americans are actually Jew also. The lost tribe of Israel.
Push back on that too.
Okay, so
He did not like to hear that. Yo, y'all better tag some people in on this right now because Kanye is speaking that truth. The Most High is utilizing him on these public platforms to bring this truth out that we Israelites been telling y'all for so long. We've been on the corners bringing this thing out. Y'all been discrediting it. Y'all been saying that ain't real, that ain't factual. Oh, that's debatable. It ain't debatable because Kanye made a great point. Who's still going through the atrocities today in 2022? When it comes to even abortion, forget about dying at the hands of the white man. Forget about that part because even that part we're still going through. Think about the abortion rates when it comes to blacks and the Planned Parenthood. Who you think is suffering that thing to this day? Let's continue, shall we?
everyone came from Africa.
I'm African. I'm basically African American. We're brothers.
And we're both Jew. And we're brothers. So
We're human.
6 million people died in the Holocaust, over 20 million.
He said we're both Jew. What it is, Jacob, right, and Esau, they're brothers. Yes. Okay? That is true. But they're from separate nations. So again, if you from a camp, reach out to Yale. We're going to get him right. We're going to show him how it's split between Jacob and Esau. Yes, they were brothers, but the white man is a completely different nation to Jacob, to our forefathers, Jacob, the Israelites. You understand that?
Have died by the hands of abortion, and the media promotes the "My Body, My Choice," which is actually still a promotion for Planned Parenthood. 50% of black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee. It's not black on black violence and gang violence. It's not heart attacks. It's actually
It's the same thing I just said. Like black on black crime aside, that's Deuteronomy 28 and 54, us having an evil eye towards each other. The white man taking us out, right? Put that aside. Abortion alone, right, is proof that our people still going through the so-called quote unquote Holocaust. That they so tried to say that the Germanic people, right, and the Ashkenazis and the Sephardics, they suffered that, right?
the abortion. The most dangerous place for a black person in America is in their mother's stomach.
Wow, the most dangerous place for an unborn baby. Yo, and shout out to Deacon Sakari, man, because he put that in a lyric before he said the most dangerous place for an unborn child is the uterus. Whoo! And that is, yo, Kanye spitting some facts.
There's 900 to a million abortions in the United States a year. I hear you. But there's something about...
No. You're not going to just glide over that comment like, oh, well, yeah, 9 to 10 million abortions a year is African Americans. Yeah, I hear you. But no, we're not going to just slide over that. Come on, man. What's really... Somebody make it make sense for me, man. Somebody tell me what's going on with this white boy.
The rape, the torture, the murder of children, women, men, the complete humiliation, and just the suffering that was endured during World War II.
Brother. I can't even call you brother because you ain't no brother. You understand that? Listen, Kanye clearly said the numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Kanye said the numbers are incomparable, my guy. The 6 million that you talking about is not in comparison to the over 200 million that we talking about in numbers. So don't try and do that. I see you slithering. I see you.
That's what we deal with on our TVs right now with black people. Soros would use black trauma economy to win an election. And what I love is having a healthy conversation. And as opposed to, there's certain things, boom, this drops, people are going to have pussy hats on. Boom, this drops, it's going to be, black people and white people with signs. Boom, this drops. So, hey, China, hey, left agenda, hey, what we're going to do is say that our species can have a healthy conversation.
Can I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, there's a echo of a pain that people feel that reminds...
Bro, what about the echo of the pain our people been feeling for the past century, bro? Oh my goodness. This brother is just totally inept and void of what, and this is why we say white people would never understand the atrocity that happened to our people. It's just not in them. He over here bawling out about, oh, it resonates, the pain of, World War II. He talking about a time period in World War One when the Germanic people suffered at the hands. Sorry, the Jewish people suffered at the hands of the Nazis, the so-called Jewish people. He talking about a time period. We talking about a whole lifetime. He talking about a time period versus a lifetime. A time period versus a lifetime. Come on. Do the math, family. Do the math.
You're saying it's redundant, right?
No, I'm not saying it's redundant. I'm saying
it's redundant.
You're saying it's redundant.
I'm
saying it's something that I'm saying that it's something that Joseph Goebbels...
It is redundant. If any of y'all think that Kanye crazy, Kanye off his beans, Kanye Kanye. No, it's Deacon Hakar. Yeah, his name is Deacon Hakar, but he also goes by the name Deacon Zakari. So yes, I was actually correct. But yes, it is redundant. How are you gonna compare a time period of World War One, right, and a lifetime of what we've been going through? It's incomparable. This is why white people will not and ever, never, ever, 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 ever understand what we went through and what we're going through. And guess what? We're still going through it. So yes, it is redundant, but he don't want to acknowledge that.
The propaganda minister of Nazi Germany said. I'm saying it's been said so many times in order to murder and torture Jewish people that it just rings wrong.
That's the
Just like the N word when spoken by people that have the same skin color as me. It reminds people of a very dark time.
I know. If Jewish people would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people, you saying you're Jewish, that
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means
Let's go! Yo, Kanye said, listen, bro, I'm a Jew, not Jewish. The persons over in Israel, Jerusalem right now, they are the Jewish. They're the ones who wish they're Jews. They're the fake imposters. You understand that? We are the real Jews, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and indigenous people of the world who are scattered in the four corners of the earth. Bring it out, yay!
means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
you're a Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes from,
Christian.
right. But that
blood of Yahweh Shai. Bring it out, man. Bring it out, yeah. This is what persons need to hear on a world level, man. You understand that? So it don't matter if Kanye West, he ain't wearing fringes, he ain't. Listen, the Most High utilizing him. You understand that? The Most High is using him. Even if the Most High use him and discard him, at least the Most High used him to get this word out there that we the real Jews. All praises for that.
are you a follower of the philosophy of the black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from.
Oh, no, you see. No, wow. Now you see his horns coming out. Now you see Mr. White Man's horns start showing. He say, are you of the belief of the black Hebrew Israelites? Because that could only be the only thing that would make sense of why you're saying things like this. Mind you, it can be Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68 that says we went into cargo slave ships and we went into slave men and slave women. Can't be that. It can be Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48 that says we're going to have yokes of iron around our neck. It can't be that. It can't be the verse that says these curses are going to be upon us as a sign, right? Even down to our children. It can't be that. It can't be the fact that we the same people that been in captivity ever since Egypt come up to America. It can't be that. It can't be the fact that Kanye just mentioned the numbers of Planned Parenthood and abortion is trumping the numbers of those so-called Jewish people that died at the hands of the Nazis in the so-called Holocaust back in World War One. It can't be that. The only reason in this white man's head that could make sense of what Kanye's saying ain't the facts, but so are you of the belief of the black Hebrew Israelites? That's you see that? You see what he tried to do there? I'm telling you, the white man is the damn devil that the Bible speak of, and you can see it coming out right here. If y'all can't see it, then I can't help you. I'm sorry for you.
Those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
now,
Which he's right. We originated in a place east of Eden, right? And I like how Kanye, he's just basically he's giving him the facts. You understand that? He's giving him the facts. And evil people cannot deal with the facts. I always tell yourself this. If you don't remember nothing from tonight's Wednesday night heat, remember this. Evil persons hate the facts.
Okay, now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes,
Yeah.
and then tell you what it is.
Should I count? Let's count. 7 minutes.
No,
Do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all
And I said, and then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history because what they do, what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us, now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers. And we need to be a community.
Yeah, I'm going to just fast forward this just a little bit so we can get through this thing.
Not just consume. And why I got to that point. Not just
Wait. He said something important just now.
consumers. So
He said not,
to make
he
us
said
be
not just consumers, because he's now become of the ideology that, consumerism is one of the things that really it fuels the matrix. Again, it fuels the matrix. So he's going against the matrix right now. But he also understands that consumerism is a big tool or a big resource that fuels the matrix.
consumers. And we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point, right?
Pain. You had pain.
Yeah, but no one
Pain in your heart.
But let's say this. Undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C.,
Hey, that's true. Mansa Musa, who was the most wealthiest African that ever lived, you ain't gonna see no movie about that, but you're gonna see a movie about 12 years a slave, right? It's exact. So let me tell y'all something. So Ye is not crazy. For those of you that thinking that he off his rocker, he wilding out. No, he's wilding out against the matrix. He's wilding out against the system. And that's perfectly fine. Because somebody got to do it. You understand that? But guess what? It wasn't going to be you. All right? It wasn't going to be you. Because you probably wouldn't want to deal with the problems that come after that. So, yeah, he decided he's going to be the sacrificial lamb in this situation right here.
It doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here's another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect if we're Jew. If we're Jew, and since we are, we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed.
Woo! going back to Egypt is exactly what we just said. We were the slaves in Egypt. You see how he looked up? He looked up like, what did you just say? What did you just say? It looked like he want to kill Kanye right now for saying that.
Africans have always said, you've listened to rap music and hear black people say, we kings, we blood of the pharaohs. And if we are Jew, then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed.
Let's go. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Moses freed the Israelites, and our forefathers were the same ones that went through the Red Sea, the same ones who Jacob had the 12 sons of, 12 tribes of Israel. That's us. The same ones that went into cargo slave ships. That's us. The same ones who always been in slavery after slavery after slavery, going all the way back to Egypt. That's us.
And when we talk about, have you heard black people talk about 400 years of slavery? Mm-hmm. All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
And history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history.
Wow. You see how that white devil just tried to say, our history doesn't matter. Y'all caught that? Let me just go back just a little bit more.
Lesson, right?
I thought history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it. And at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
Absolutely. We need to forget it and we need to move forward.
There's so much wisdom to draw from history, even in the 20th century. Look.
Yeah, but the thing is, this white boy only want to talk about his Russian Germanic history. But when Ye brings it up about his history, he keeps going back to his Russian ancestry's history. You see that?
Look at this. Communism. Without the lessons of history of the 20th century, communism sounds like a great idea. Except that some of the worst atrocities conducted by Stalin and Mao that killed 50, 100 plus million people. Not just killed.
50, 100 million. What kind of number is that, yo? 50. Yo, that's a new one. I gotta use that. 50, 100 million. All right.
Cool. Tortured, starvation. Where people, cannibalism. They ate each other. They ate their children. There's just dark. People should read some books on this. On the Holodomor.
See,
in the 1930s. With that lesson, we would, and now it's becoming more popular.
I'm not disagreeing that happened. I'm disagreeing that we need to harp on the things that happened, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact. 50%
facts. This is what evil people can't stand. Facts.
Today of, let's say, you don't call, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact. 50% today of, let's say, you don't call black people Jew, right? Black people's death today is abortion. Today, right now. Like that, it's not racism. That's too wide of a term. It's genocide and population control that black people are in today in America, that is promoted by the music and the media.
Bring that. Kanye, this is the same thing we've been telling them. Same thing. But you know what? The scripture said, when a rich man speak, everybody listen. When a poor man speak, nobody listen.
Black people make that Jewish record labels get paid off of, or media companies. Record labels and media companies also, let's give it a wider.
I agree with Martin Luther King. I have a dream too. That one day you would not be judged by the color of your skin or your race, black or Jew, but by the content of your character. All the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews. Can you
They are Jewish.
It doesn't. They're human.
That's a lie. They are Jewish. They own the record companies. What are you talking about? What is this guy talking? Yo, somebody tell me what is it? They aren't Jews. Sorry, they aren't Jewish. What is he talking about? They're the so-called Jewish people. They run the record companies.
Human with opportunities, and they took those opportunities. I don't care if they're Jewish.
Do you feel like I should release that pain and separate it?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're saying I should release that pain and separate it, then I'm telling you, you should release your pain and separate it, and we could get to the list of how you are being with engineering opportunities.
That's 100%. I see what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The pain, I'm going to let it go. Engineering challenges. I get it.
What about what you doing? What about what you doing, bro? Anyway, look, Kanye brought out the facts. He brought out the truth, right? And you could this is after he said certain things last week. So, Kanye is fully prepared, fully made up his mind that he's gonna suffer whatever consequences that comes with going against the system, going against the matrix. He's already fully prepared for that in terms of mentally. You understand? Let me play another clip really quickly. So again, do y'all think Kanye West is put it in the comments right now? Do y'all think Kanye West is crazy, or do you think he's being calculated? Do you think he's crazy, or do you think he's being calculated? No, I'm gonna play another clip, right? I'm gonna show you why I think he's being calculated. Now, whether you agree or you disagree with whether you think he's calculated or not, right? You have your reasons for either one of those stances. But for me, right, just based on what I'm seeing in these interviews, I gotta go with he's being calculated, fam. Now, again, I haven't always agreed with things he said in the past, but again, that's neither here nor there. We're just talking about right now, and what he's talking about right now is the absolute truth, and we got to deal with that. You understand that? Let me bring this out. Let me see. Okay, good. So as you know, I'm not sure if you know. As a matter of fact, let me pull this up. Kanye West is being dropped. Let's read this. Let me know if y'all can see this properly. All right. Let me increase it a little bit more. All right, good. Now it says every company that's dropped Kanye West. The ecosystem, they call it the ecosystem because the ecosystem is the part where all living things grow and it's sustained in there. But now the ecosystem that has all his brands or had all his brands, being a part of the whole Kanye merch family. It says the ecosystem grows lonelier by the hour, following a spate of anti-Semitic and anti-Black comments made by Ye on multiple TV shows, podcasts, and social media platforms. Several companies have publicly cut ties with the rapper in an effort to distance themselves from his harmful rhetoric. Many of the swift disavowals came after anti-Semitic group Human Banners in support of Ye and his anti-Semitism over Interstate 405 in Los Angeles, prompting a flood of social media users, celebrities, and brands to denounce anti-Semitism and mount pressure on companies to hold Ye accountable. His previous anti-Black statements, let's just come down to where we get that part. Let's see. Okay, so let's see which companies. Okay, so Madame Tussauds. Okay, they took down his wax figure, right? Peloton has been banned. They banned Kanye West's music from being played in any future classes. He had that song, "Work It, Make It, When's it," right? Remember that song there, right? They probably banned all those songs. So Peloton Sketches, right? They released a press release stating that neither the S could, they're not gonna have nothing to do with that. So Sketches denounced Kanye, TJ Maxx, right? Wow, they're not gonna sell any of his merchandise. Christie's, They're no longer going forward with the private sale of the Nike Air Yeezy ones. Foot Locker sent an internal message to its stores on October 25th requesting that all stores remove all Yeezy branded footwear from sale floors. Wow. All these companies going in, man. Adidas. So now the active wear giant formally terminated its partnership with Ye on October 25th, releasing a full statement. So they look like they came together. All these companies on one consent decided, listen, we're going to drop Ye. You understand? Um, it says Adidas does not tolerate anti Semitism and any other sort of hate speech, the press release said, calling his comments unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and a violation of the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. All right. So I don't know if y'all know Adidas. They're the company that makes the Yeezy brand shoes. All right. Air Yeezys and other models and makes of the Yeezy brand shoes. They decided they're not working with him anymore. They're dropping out. His Yeezy contract that he had with them was like 2 billion. So um, Adidas has stated that they're willing to lose $150 million. Right? They've fully accepted that they're gonna just deal with it however they're gonna deal with it, sell it under a different brand or whatever, different one of their subsidiary companies or whatever. But it just goes to show Adidas was not making 2 billion a year off of his shoes. Kanye was helping them to make 2 billion. I want you to be very clear. Let's be very clear. Kanye was the one who bring Adidas back to life. You understand that? Because at one point Adidas fell off, man. So Adidas jumped back on stream all because Ye was able to put them back in a good limelight. You understand that? But I'm getting to something. I'm getting to something. So Gap, they drop him as well. Def Jam Records, nah. Well, oh yeah, it has to be because now they got different owners. Because I know Russell Simmons, who is the former co-owner of Def Jam Records, he had a statement to make about Kanye, and it was good words. It was good words. But I was saying here that Def Jam Records relationship with Ye as a recording artist, Def Jam's partnership with the Good Music label venture, and Ye's merchandise agreement with Bravado all ended in 2021. Universal Music Group, the label's parent company, said in a statement on October 25th, there is no place for anti-Semitism in our society. Wow. So Def Jam ain't working with him. Balenciaga, they're not working with him. Donda Sports. So it says Ye's sports marketing agency lost multiple clients in the fallout of his hate speech controversy. LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald ended his contract with Donda Sports on October 25th. So you see, they all came together in one consent on October 25th and just decided, listen, between the 21st and the 25th, we're going to just finish with Ye. You understand that? What else we got? Uh, who else companies we got? We got MRC Entertainment, right? The company behind the finished Ye documentary. They scrapped the project on October 24th, saying that they cannot support any content that amplifies his platform. Vogue, they finished with him as well. JP Morgan Chase, which is the financial institution, they broke up with Ye because of his quote unquote anti black and anti Semitic comments. UTA, it's a talent agency. CAA, that's another talent agency as well. They finished with him. So that is every company to date so far. Understand? Every company to date. There was a clip that says Kanye showed up to Skechers and he was turned away. Let me share that really quickly. Kanye West showed up to Skechers. All right. Where is that? Let me see. Good. They say he shows up uninvited at the Skechers headquarters, right? He said Kanye West is making a quick move to find out, to find a new home for his Yeezy shoes, hitting Skechers headquarters to talk with the company's honchos, but immediately got turned away. Right? I think at this point, what Kanye needs to do is stop trying to rely on these companies. Because look at this. Um, who owns Skechers is Jewish people as well. He should have did his homework on that. Look, sources familiar with Ye's visit tell us he was at a company's main office Wednesday morning in Manhattan Beach, California, but this was not a scheduled meeting with management. Skechers says Ye arrived unannounced and without invitation at one of Skechers. Yeah, you can't just walk up in the office and they're going to just accept you like that, especially with the recent, spate of quote unquote anti-Semitism. So, yeah, you got to be a little bit more calculated. You're calculated in your interviews, but you got to be calculated. You got to match that calculation in real life, man. Now, so considering Ye was engaged in unauthorized filming, two Skechers executives escorted him and his party from the building after a brief conversation. So, see this? Robert and Michael, right? They're here both together in a picture with um, Bill Clinton, right? So now these two owners of Skechers. So now they said, no, we don't know if Kanye did his research or not, but Skechers is owned and operated by a Jewish family. Okay, Robert Greenberg founded it, and his son Michael is currently the president. So this guy on the left, he's currently the president. You understand that? Robert Greenberg, see more on the right, this guy right over here, he is the father. So father and son. Robert founded it. His son Michael is currently the president. You understand that? So yeah, Kanye is looking for a new partner for Yeezys. What he needs to do is, in my personal opinion, Kanye needs to just you know use his own resources and stop relying on these companies and do it yourself. Do it yourself, yeah. Do it yourself. You understand that? What else we got? Let me close this. We already went through that. We already went through this. So now look at this. Adidas now planning to sell. Right? Look at this. Adidas is now planning to sell his designs. Look at this. So Adidas plans to sell Kanye West Yeezy designs without the name. So they think they're smart. They think they're clever, right? So they terminated their partnership with Kanye, but now they're gonna continue, right, to sell the rapper's designs without the name on them. So it's a smart way of still getting the sales without linking Kanye's name to the product. So you see how when you try to get out of the system, they still find a way to still profit off of you. You understand that? Now, let's look at this clip. Now, the reason why I said he's so calculated when it comes to this is because um, certain things he said that led me to believe that he did all of this on purpose. He did all of this on purpose. Now watch this. Let me share this clip with you guys. Watch this. Okay, cool. So this is a clip of a podcast that they were reviewing some of Kanye's words. I'm just going to play a clip from this podcast really quickly. All right.
Way overdue that this should have been done. Before I jump into this, let's hear a little word from Kanye. I'm sorry, Ye himself.
About it, me and Adidas is like, I can literally say anti-Semitic shit and they can't drop me. I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me.
Wow. So I don't know if you realize he said it twice, right? Let me give you a little backstory. Kanye West wanted to get out of the deal with Adidas for some time. No, right? Adidas would not get out of the deal. They would not get out of the contract. So for a while, he's been wanting to get out of their specific contract. So he probably didn't like the conditions or how the paperwork was set up under their specific contract. So he wanted out of their contract. You understand that? But look again what he says when it comes to Adidas not being able to. He says Adidas can't drop him, even if he says whatever he says about anti-Semitic comments. Look at this.
Kanye, I'm sorry, Ye himself.
About me and Adidas, it's like I can literally say anti-Semitic shit and they can't drop me. I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me.
You see how he slow it down and he say it again for emphasis. He wanted them to drop him. He wanted to get out of the contract. He wanted to be free from that whole matrix of being embroiled in a contract with unfavorable conditions and situations. When you're in a contract, you're in slavery. It's another form of slavery. So all those NBA players, all those actors, all those persons who, they work for these companies that have them contractually bound, you're literally a slave for them for X amount of years. Now, they're going to tie you into some money, yeah, right? But no, you are their slave. You understand that? I hope everybody understand this new age matrix, right? It doesn't mean that because you're in the matrix doesn't mean that you're not going to get money. Because the Bible speaks about you having a basket, but that basket being cursed. And when that basket is cursed, it's almost like whatever you make while being contractually bound to whatever your oppressor has you oppressed with or to, your basket is going to be cursed. So you could have money. Now look at this. Kanye West was one of the richest black men in America, billionaire. But he was miserable because he was contractually obligated by some oppressors that had him in some very sticky contracts, I'm pretty sure. Contracts that he wanted out of. Everybody understand that? So not because you have millions or billions mean that you're happy. Not because you're the richest black man in America means that you're happy. I hope I'm speaking to somebody. So having money isn't the answer for happiness. As you can see, Kanye said, I could say anti-Semitic stuff and Adidas cannot drop me. And he said it again, slower, a second time for emphasis. And then it's like 2 days after he said that, Adidas dropped him. That's exactly what he wanted. Y'all don't see that?
Me.
Well, today Adidas dropped you. CNN business and everywhere else. As I said, I had to put up an umbrella. They dropping Kanye so much, man.
I wonder if it was one of these things after that, people were looking straight at Adidas. So what you gonna do?
They were.
You gonna support this this anti-Semitic stuff or
no? They put the pressure on them.
Yeah,
They put the pressure on them. They said, "Hey, a lot of people said, you really gonna let them say this shit? I mean, everybody else dropping Kanye. What y'all gonna do, man? So you gonna be the one to stick by Kanye with this crazy shit?"
And that's the thing. Kanye wanted out of it. He was playing y'all into his hand. Y'all just don't see that.
Kanye has done so many crazy things. And I would say
they make a 1.6 billion off of him per year.
Probably.
Exactly. If they were making $6 billion off of him per year, is proof that Kanye was their gold. He was their proverbial gold mine. He was a cash cow to that company. So Adidas was not making $6 billion. Kanye was making them $6 billion. I hope y'all get the difference.
They do. And now, see, everything's about money, man. Everything. What I'm going to say has nothing to do.
No, everything's about money for those who living in the matrix. That's why Kanye wasn't afraid of getting out of that contract. He already made his millions. You understand that? But he was playing it very cleverly. Now, he had to probably, wait till he get his money right. Wait till he got up there in some millions. No, Adidas drop him. No, he not worth billions anymore. His net worth, according to Forbes, dropped. Even though I don't think Forbes has an accurate amount on his full net worth, because in the past Kanye corrected them before and told them he was worth 3 billion when they were suggesting it was 1 billion, right? So I don't think they have an accurate count on his assets anyway. But again, even with Adidas dropping him, he's still worth millies, man. You understand that?
I'm not saying it as a stereotype, but I said this because I've been saying for the longest time, I never said cancel Kanye. I never said, boycott Kanye. Actually, I did. I said, if y'all really out there, being all self-righteous and shit, then why y'all out here supporting this dude that has said so many offensive things and continues to add to the list?
Right.
Because he wanted out of those contracts. It's quite clear that, a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters, they're not going to understand the whole rhyme and reason behind it. But I think there's one person that understands, right? But before we get into that, I want to just really quickly go over some scriptures that speaks to the Matrix. And again, like we said in the earlier part of the Wednesday night heat, the Matrix is something that go all the way back to the first civilization that was in high power, Egypt, right? But let's go and backtrack to the time of Caesar Augustus when he was ruling, right? Caesar Augustus in the Roman captivity. Let's go to Luke chapter 2. All right, Luke chapter 2. Let's go there. Show y'all the Matrix been around. Look at this. The Matrix been around, y'all. This ain't no new thing. Look at this. Luke chapter 2 and verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. So this is basically showing you that if the whole taxation of the world was set up even since the Roman days, the taxation that comes with bills, that comes with this monthly amount that has to go to the state, this monthly amount that has to go to the government, to the rulership, to the ruling factors that's been in place. The Matrix been around. You understand that? But it's just that you didn't realize that the Matrix was carefully crafted by those persons who put us in these oppressive conditions, who put us in slavery, who put us in subjugation. Let's read verse 2. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. Look at this. And all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. Verse 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David. Watch this, verse 5. To be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. So you understand, Joseph was engaged to his wife, Mary, right? And they were going up to be taxed, right? Mary was pregnant with Yahushai, and they had to pay taxes even then. Yahushai's parents had to pay taxes even then. You understand that? Verse 6 says, and so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. You understand that? So what I'm trying to show you is this. When it comes to the taxation, it goes all the way back. You understand? To Egypt, Babylon, Assyria, Greece, Rome, but even before that, Persia, the Medes. All right, do a little history to see all the ruling nations that ruled, that came after Egypt, all the major ones, that is. Got a couple minor ones, but check out the major ones. You understand? But all of them fell. I want y'all to recognize something. All of those ruling nations, they fell. Egypt fell. Babylon fell. Assyria fell. Persia fell. Greece fell. Rome fell. And America is slated to fall, just the way those previous nations they fell. You understand that? Let me come over to First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 76. First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 76. Y'all there? Y'all with me? Y'all feeling all right? Y'all feeling good? I hope so. If you haven't done so as yet, please subscribe to the channel. All right, Wednesday night heat every Wednesday night. And of course, you know we got to bring it hot. We got to bring that heat. All right, First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 76. Now it says, "For ever since the time of our fathers, we have been and are in great sin, even unto this day." Wow. So it's going back all the way to our forefathers. So this matrix came about because our fathers, we sinned. You understand that? We were supposed to be ruling. We were supposed to be the ruling nation over all the other nations. They were supposed to be the ones that's giving resources to us. But instead, it's turned around and we got to ask resources of them. But it says, ever since the time of our fathers, we have been and we are in great sin, even unto this day. Verse 77. Watch this. So the reason why you paying taxes and you're paying bills and you're paying for things that came naturally, like water, and you're paying for electricity and you're paying for natural resources, is because your forefathers sinned. So now you realize you're in the matrix. You got to do something to do what? Get out of the matrix. You got to do something to do what? At least try to not go along with the status quo of the matrix, right? But do so when you're able to calculatively and precisely do so, having your ducks line up in a row. Now, Kanye was lining his ducks up in a row all this time. And it took him years for him to get to this point where he could, disconnect from these wretched contracts that has had him enslaved for a long, long time. A lot of persons can't say the same. A lot of persons got to stay embroiled in the system. A lot of persons, they say to themselves, listen, man, I would like to leave the system, but I just can't. So I got to keep grinding in this wicked system. A lot of persons know the system is wicked, but a lot of persons also know if they stop, it means the end of their livelihood. But listen, we got enough scientists, enough doctors, enough persons who are good at engineering, arts and craft, farming, to stay plugged into their system. But it's just like our people just love their system so much, they will never disconnect from it. So that's why Kanye, he figured to himself, ain't nobody else gonna do it. Nobody else. Maybe he figured he would start a chain reaction. I think Kanye probably figured to himself, listen, if I spark this is going to spark at least some minds to start thinking also about disconnecting from this matrix that we've been plugged into and start thinking about it differently and coming together in different ways where we're not relying on their system. No, what he needs to do is not carry his brand to Skechers or any of the other quote unquote Jewish owned companies. You understand that? Verse 77. And it says, and for our sins and our fathers, we with our brethren and our kings and our priests were given up unto the kings of the earth. So you see that? We were given up to the kings of the earth. Who's the kings of the earth? The same wicked nations that they rule in the earth right now. That's what it's talking about. The kings of the earth. We've been given over to them for them to do whatever they want with us, to impose whatever taxes they want on us. It's like whatever taxes they impose, we got to pay it. We got to pay. Literally. What are you going to do? If you want to catch a plane and the plane ticket costs $10,000 and you have to go, it's either you not going to go or you going to go. You literally have no choice for what these entities set up. If you have running water in your house and next month, they say from next month, everybody getting a $1,000 increase on water. What are you going to do? You're either going to have running water in your house and pay the $1,000 plus, or you're not going to have it and you're going to try to catch the rainwater, and it's going to be illegal, and then police coming after you, and then either you try to set up some evaporation system, and then that ain't working out. You get poisoned because you didn't do the reverse osmosis process correctly, and now you poison yourself and your family. It's like, yo, they put us in a real snaggle. But like I said, we got enough intelligent persons, smart persons among our nation worldwide. If we were to really come together, right? They can't kill all of us, but that's the problem. A curse on our people right now that does not want to come together, that do not want to gather, that do not want to unite. There's a curse on us in Deuteronomy 24 and verse 58 that says we're going to have an evil eye towards our people at this current juncture and moment in time. You understand? So it's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. Because it says, for our sins, our fathers, our brethren, and our priests, we got given up unto the kings of the earth. So those kings, of course, they're going to impose taxes and bills on us. Look at this. To the sword and to captivity. So they kill us. They put us in captivity. Look at this. And for prey with shame unto this day. So that white dude that Kanye was talking about in the interview, for those of you who just logging on, you could go back and look to see where we were covering an interview that Kanye West did with a Russian dude. He was talking about one period in time that spoke about the Holocaust that happened in the early 1940s or either the 1920s. World War One has to be 1920 something, right? So we're talking about unto this day, these things still happening to us. We're talking about unto this day, we're still going to Planned Parenthood and abortion. We're talking about unto this day, we're still suffering at the hands of our oppressors. We're talking about unto this day, we're still caught up in a matrix that we do not benefit from. We're talking about unto this day that we're embroiled into conditions that has been set against us. So they're talking about one period in time. We're talking about unto this day. That's how you know this Bible talking about us. Because it says unto this day. You understand that? Verse 78. And now in some measure hath mercy been showed unto us from thee, O Lord, that there should be left us a root and a name in the place of thy sanctuary. So right now, like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be some mercy showed unto us even in this captivity, even while we in this matrix. The Most High is going to create a shifting of resources that's going from the wicked of the earth into the righteous of the earth. So now is a good time for you who are business minded, you are leadership minded, you are prudent, you're keeping the commandments, for you to really grasp at the things that the Most High is showing you through the acquisition of wealth. And the Most High is the one who's going to make it happen. He gives us the ability to get wealth, but he's not going to give it to everybody. He's going to give it to those persons who are nation-minded, those persons who are prudent, those persons who are responsible, those persons who are, financially savvy and financially resourceful, financially wise, who are not micro-minded, those who are macro-minded, nation-minded, to better their nation. You understand that? So it says, and now in some measure have mercy been showed. So right now, a black man, he could get the opportunity to get a lot of money. That's that mercy being showed. That's you not being in the physical chains right now. That's you having some leeway to be able to come back to these commandments and keep the feast days to some extent. You understand that? That's some mercy being showed. That you can be able to let the system work for you, even though the system has been set up against you. You can find ways that the system can work for you if you go about it cleverly. You understand that? Because they were clever to put the system against you. No, you got to be clever to use the system and empower your people. You get the point? It's not. Stop thinking about self. Here's the kicker. The Most High gave us mercy at this juncture in time. It's not for you to think about yourself or just you and your family. It's so that you can think about your nation, how to use the system, not just to help yourself, but to help your nation, to empower your nation. So when that transferal of wealth comes from the wicked of the earth to the righteous of the earth, when it comes time for us to really go to the wilderness and inherit the new kingdom, all the riches of the earth, just like the Bible mentions, is going to be given into Yahushua. It's going to be given to Yahushua. He's going to distribute it to all the Israelites who are, acquiring the new kingdom. So that transferal of wealth is going to start in this wicked kingdom, and it's going to end in the new kingdom. Again, it's going to start in the latter part of this wicked kingdom, and then it's going to go into the new part of the new kingdom. You understand that? All right. So where we at? Verse 78. Verse 79, and to discover unto us a light in the house of the Lord our God, and to give us food in the time of our servitude. So that food that we're going to get in the time of our servitude and captivity, he's going to be able to give us sustenance. We're going to be able to sustain. We're going to be able to make money. We're going to be able to have our own businesses. That's that food. We're going to be able to come back and keep the commandments and keep some of the feast days, and really you're going to see that happening. Now, this wasn't happening for a long period of time. You understand that? When, like in the Babylonian captivity, like in the Egyptian captivity, even in the Greek captivity, we were commanded to not keep our ancient fasts and our feast days, and even to declare ourselves to be Jews. You understand that? As a matter of fact, let me go Second Maccabees 6 and verse 6, just to for anybody that's watching this right now. It says, Second Maccabees 6 and 6, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So we couldn't even profess ourselves to be Jews. We couldn't keep our Sabbath days, our ancient fasts, or our feast days, right? But now there's a time coming where now a light, right, in the house of the Lord is going to be discovered, right? And we're going to get food in the time of our servitude. You understand that? We're going to be sustained in the time of our captivity. We're going to be able to own businesses. We're going to be able to, we're still going to have to pay taxes, yes. We're still going to have to abide by the matrix, yes. But reformulate the way you think about the matrix. Don't use the matrix to be a part of the matrix. Use the matrix for a time being so you could get out of the matrix, number one, and so that you can empower others also to get out of the matrix as well. So yes, set up your businesses. Yes, go into commerce and business and go into these things. But if you're thinking about just self and family only, then you're going to just be a spokesperson for the matrix. Now, Kanye is trying to be a spokesperson to show us that you can get money and then use your money and get out of the matrix. But the mistake that I see Kanye made was this. The only mistake I see was this. He's still trying to go back to these companies to try and get his shoes sold by, these white people. You understand that? Kanye, launch your own platform, sell your own shoes, empower your people, be about your people. And I see he has a nation mentality, yes. He just needs to be educated when it comes to this truth. That's all it is. Educated when it comes to this truth. You understand? So, again, is Kanye West crazy? Of course not. Very calculated. Certain things I realize he didn't calculate, but I'm hoping that how much time we at? 2:33. There was something I wanted to show y'all as it pertains to black consumerism. But let me read Baruch 3 and verse 7 just to show y'all when it comes to this captivity that we in. Look at this. Baruch chapter 3 and verse 7. So understand the matrix that you in, fam. Baruch 3 and verse 7, it says, and for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts to the intent that we should call upon thy name. So now watch this. It's fear that in our hearts from being in this matrix for such a long time, running on this proverbial treadmill, running, and you get paid, you got to pay back that money into the system. You get paid, you got to pay bills. You get paid. It's like you can't catch a break in this matrix, right? But the Most High did that for a reason. So reformulate the way you think about this matrix. It says, for this cause, thou hast put fear in our hearts. For which cause? For the cause of our forefathers going off and sinning and breaking his commandments. Watch this. It says, to the intent that we should call upon thy name. So while we in this matrix, you got to call upon his name. You got to cry out to him. Watch this. And praise thee in our captivity. So while you're in captivity, I'm going to make you reformulate the way you think about this captivity that you're currently in right now. Praise him still in your captivity. Keep the commandments still while you're in this captivity. Yes, it's rough. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's challenging. But still praise him by keeping these commandments in your captivity. Watch this. For we have called to mind all the iniquity or all the sins of our forefathers. So yes, we remember that our forefathers made a covenant and didn't keep it. We remember that through Moses, he gave our forefathers the commandments and we just squandered that. We didn't keep that. We went after the gods of the other nations, right? Look at this. Our forefathers that sinned before thee. So we were in heavy idolatry. That's why the Most High put y'all in the matrix. So make no mistake about it. The reason why you're in a matrix right now and you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're on a proverbial treadmill, just going and running, is because your forefathers that got given the covenant, they went off and you inherited the consequences. You inherited the covenant that you were supposed to keep. So you got to come back and keep it. Watch this, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach. So the Most High scattered us, right, in this captivity, right, because we broke his commandments. Look at this, for a reproach, in other words, for correction. We got sent into this captivity for correction. Watch this. And the curse, you know about the curses of Deuteronomy 28, that we're suffering still to this day. Watch this. And to be subject to payments. The beginning of the matrix is right here. Look at right here. To be subject to payments. Or I should say, not the beginning, but because this is Baruch 3 and 8, but the crux of it, the crux of the matrix is to be subject to payments. You know how you feel when you're paying for something that the Most High created? That's you being subject to payments. You know how you feel when we could easily be harnessing the power of the sun, but every month you gotta pay a power bill to a power company. You know how it feels to be, paying for fruits that you put in your fridge and veggies and plants. You gotta pay for that. Esau told you, the wicked of the earth told you, you got to pay for that. So you're subject to payments. That's the matrix that you're in. And you've been doing it so long, you don't realize you're in a matrix. According to all the iniquities of our fathers. So the reason why you subject to payments and you're in this matrix is because of all the iniquities of your forefathers. Watch this. Which departed from the Lord our God. So we went off into idolatry. So the Most High thought it best to put us for correction, put a curse on us, right? Make us subject to payments, put us in a matrix. So the Most High is the one that's in control of the matrix. Yes, he put us in it. Yes, he put the other nations, he put that spirit on them to keep us subject to the matrix. Yes, but understand this, the matrix is going to turn around. Yes, the other nations are going to be the one in the matrix. As per Isaiah chapter 14, we're going to be ruling over them. You understand that? Isaiah 14 and verse 1 says what? For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and will set them in their own land. So you see now we're getting redemption here as a future prophecy. And the strangers or the other nations going to be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. So they're going into a matrix. You understand? A matrix that the Most High going to cleverly, craftily create that they're going to can't get out of it. Look at this. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, because we were a part of their matrix. We were a part of their system that we had to toil and work and slave and be subjugated and be oppressed. Watch this. And they shall rule over their oppressors. So now we're going to be ruling. So we're going to be able to rule them in the way that Christ commands us to rule them, in whatever way he instructs us. And that's going to be their matrix. That's going to be their subjugation. That's going to be their oppression, just like he mentions in verse 2. You understand that? So, but for right now, we in this captivity and we're subject to payments. We're subject to their payments. Whatever they charge us, we got to pay it. And whatever they put a fee to, we got to, is either you're going to take it or you're going to leave it. You're going to pay for it or you're not. You know, but you're subject to the payments regardless, and it even costs money to die in this matrix, because a funeral costs no less than $15,000. You understand that? So this is the matrix that you're in, family. Is there something on verse 9? Look at this. Verse 9 says, "Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, give ear to understand wisdom." So you want out of this matrix, it's going to start with you keeping the commandments. You understand that? That's where it's going to start, with you keeping these commandments. That's it right there. Let me see what we got. So now, like I mentioned earlier, there was majority persons said Kanye is an idiot, he crazy. How could he allow himself to get dropped from all these companies? Now he gonna be broke. Now listen. Kanye know exactly what he's doing, and the best part about it is Kanye is now free from those contracts. Now he could do his own thing, launch his own platform that he could sell his own shoes on. As a matter of fact, former co-owner of Def Jam, who is Russell Simmons, he had this to say about Kanye. All right, he had this to say about Kanye. Where we at? Look at this. He had this to say about Kanye. Where is it? Let me find that clip. Okay, good. I think I found it here. Good. He had this to say about Kanye. All right. Listen closer to this message. All right.
Of the sneakers that they made for Adidas, and a check. And it was the biggest check at the time.
And that's how black people really want. They want to, in this time, right? They just want to check for their creativity. But you got to think beyond just getting a check. For those of you who are not business minded, if you're just thinking you want to check for your talent, you want to check or you want cash for your talent, you're not thinking big enough.
The biggest check that Adidas had given anybody, and no music person had a license deal like that.
So for those of you that don't know, this is Russell Simmons. He was the former co-owner of one of the biggest hip hop labels, right? Def Jam, which I think is owned by Universal Music Group. All right. I'm not sure if it's still under the same management, but Russell Simmons, he played a big role in being behind the management of a record label that managed a lot of artists that came up, as a staple in the hip hop community. All right. I won't name them because that's not important right now, but I'm just letting you know who the person is and, why his words, if any, are important with regard to this message to Kanye.
First. And we say they did. Well, they did. I helped produce the song. I did. And then artists started to realize, and we worked for many years in many industries, realizing the value of our relationship with our consumers. And we worked with many companies, and at one point we actually said, fuck Adidas, made our own sneakers.
See that? They said, forget Adidas, we gonna make our own sneakers. And they had that mentality back then, even in the early 70s. You understand that? Early 70s, early 80s. You understand that? That's the type of mentality that if you're gonna plug away from the matrix, you're gonna have to have that type of mentality. No, that's not the length and breadth of it. That's just where it starts, having that mentality. There's a lot of persons have that mentality, but they go right back into the matrix.
And the Fat Classics was selling for $100, and Shell-Toe Adidas was selling for $39.99. It was an explosive moment. It led to saving Fat Farm from its own extinction, and then we sold the company, and thank you, $500 million gross in sneakers that we did with the Fat Classics. It's amazing. And the thing that we broke the mold because we proved that you didn't have to suck up under Adidas or Nike or anything.
The important point. They proved that you didn't have to suck up under Adidas or Nike. You understand that?
Anybody to sell sneakers because no one had sold anything but legitimate. Nothing was cool except Nike, perhaps Puma, but not really, and Adidas. That was it. We would never allow ourselves to own ourselves and do our own shit at all. But we did it, and it was, I remember David Dash laughed at me. What kind of corny shit is that, your own sneaker? But we had some vision and some luck, and we got through it. The Daba family manufactured and sold those sneakers for us, but we owned them. So Kanye is getting free from these people.
He said Kanye is getting free from these people. Pay close attention.
And getting free from Valencia. I don't know what the fuck. Those expensive companies.
He means to say Balenciaga. So Kanye is getting free from Adidas and Balenciaga, right? Which is another trash foreign fashion company, again, that make trash products. But anyway, Kanye, what he did was he basically put them on the map, right? You understand that? But a lot of people would argue and say they were already on the map, but Kanye really made it to where people actually wanted to go and get Balenciaga. Now, Balenciaga might argue and say, well, they were on the map before and they were just exclusive to people who were in the know. But let's be real. Persons who were in the know, who was really real that was rocking Balenciaga till, Kanye and other artists started rapping about Balenciaga and big them up and put them on the map like that.
That he's the brand. That expensive company. And Kanye is a plus to them. They had to get rid of him, but he was a plus to them because his brand was so strong. So his sneakers, his clothing, you don't need Gap. He can make his own. He can make his own.
He can make his own. He don't need the Gap. But you know what? Again, I think Kanye was really being calculated. He really knew he would get dropped from all these companies for saying what he was going to say. He knew it. He knows how these things go. He has to know. You understand that?
Everything. So he's set to go. It's not hard to make your own shit. So I'm sure he'll do that. And if he ends up owning it.
All right, that's all I want to hear from Russell. I can't listen to that whole thing. But essentially, that's the takeaway from that. You understand? Everything is of the Most High. Like one brother put in there, Revelation 17 and verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the peace until the words of God shall be fulfilled. So everything is of the Most High. And even Kanye and what he's doing, it's of the Most High, man. I wanted to show y'all a little clip on consumerism. As a matter of fact, how much time we got? We got 2:40 now. You know what? I'm gonna show like two seconds of this thing. All right, because we gotta go soon. I'm gonna show like 2 seconds of this thing just to show you to have y'all don't pack in this matrix. You know how y'all think. They know how y'all buy and consume. They have y'all down to a science. They have a video. Look it up when you get a chance. It's called "The Secret of Selling to the Negro." Again, "The Secret of Selling to the Negro." They have down pack y'all buying patterns. They have down pack y'all consumerist patterns. And this video is from 1954. So since 1954, they have studied you. They have noted how you consume and how you buy, and they put it into a nice little pamphlet of a video. Now watch this. Yeah, I can see this, right? Good. Watch this. I'm gonna show you just a couple, like 2 minutes of this.
Yes, this is the market we're talking about, the new Negro family. Their name is Wells or Wilson, Smith or Brown or Alexander or Breed. They live in Chicago.
Note how all them last names he called out is the names of former slave masters who named all the slaves after his last name.
In Atlanta or New York, in Detroit, St. Louis, Los Angeles, any one of the thousands of cities and towns. All over the country, families such as this are enjoying new prosperity. They have new interests, new standards of living, a buying power they've never enjoyed before. There's good prospects for practically all types of goods and services. All too often, though, they're overlooked prospects. Why? Because of some good, valid reason? No. They're overlooked because of mistaken ideas. Because of out-of-date ideas about how the Negro lives.
So they study how the Negro lives. They study our buying patterns so they could market things just for y'all. This is what I'm trying to show y'all. So part of the matrix is them knowing exactly how your buying habits work.
How he buys. The truth of the matter is that the Negro lives pretty much the same as other folks. He buys pretty much the same way, too. But just the same, a lot of old doubts and opinions keep cropping up over and over again.
A lot of old doubts that keep popping up over and over again because we have a very, what's the word? Inferiority complex about ourselves since coming out of slavery. Coming out of slavery, we feel like we have something to prove. Coming out of slavery, we feel like we have to now show our self-worth by buying certain brands that make us feel a sense of inclusion, a sense of value. But they've studied this about us. They've been the ones who contributed towards us being this way, feeling this way about ourselves, feeling inferior, right? And they maximize off of our inferiority complex, so to speak.
I don't like to do business with Negroes. They're drifters. You can't keep track of them.
Yes, although a lot of people think that way, the truth is that 1 out of every 3 Negro families living in cities today owns its own home. That figure comes directly from the United States Bureau of Census.
Maybe so, but Negroes are poor credit risk.
Yeah, that Negroes are poor credit risk. So that's why, they invent things like hire purchase for y'all, all these different mechanisms to. I'm going to stop the video there, though. I'm going to share one scripture before we break out. Galatians chapter 4 and verse 16. Galatians 4 and 16. Now, everybody, I want you to understand this. Kanye West is doing a lot to show that he's breaking away from the matrix. He's breaking away from the system that has most of us embroiled, right? What he needs to do is just really continue speaking that truth, continue showing that, listen, if we pool our resources together, what he needs to do is, you know what? I feel like Kanye West, I'm going to go as far as to say, he probably feel like most black people are not ready. Most black people are not ready to unplug from the matrix, which is why he probably have not found any black brothers or black sisters that he really wants to pool resources with and really start his own platform to sell his stuff, man, which is what he needs to be doing. But I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of old people just not ready. They're not ready to unplug from the matrix. So, I'm not sure what's going to be the next step for Mr. Ye, but as what I do know right now is a lot of people against him. A lot of people are, becoming an enemy of him, hating him, disconnecting from him, disassociating themselves from him, alienating him, ostracizing him, right? Demoralizing him. Now look at this, Galatians 4 and verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Usually when you tell the truth, people are going to become your enemy. People are going to ostracize and separate and sever ties and cut ties from you. They don't want nothing to do with you because there's too much truth coming out of your mouth. They can't stand your guts. They can't stand you. They can't stand what you stand for, right? They're thinking that you you want some BS, right? They figure they got to call you out when really and truly you've been calling everybody out on their BS. You've been asking everybody to become accountable and be counted and stand up for yourself. Be counted and stand up and unplug from this matrix. But the thing that I think he knows is that everybody not at that stage where they have millions and where they could unplug from the matrix, because everybody plugged in to this matrix. They're signed, contractually obligated to this matrix. They got children to feed. The matrix is what feeds their children. They got what I'm saying. We could do it. Kanye probably did this to spark some innovation from somebody out there. I'm gonna be real. Somebody out there is gonna see what Kanye is doing, and that's gonna spark one, and then one turn into three, three turn into five, then five call four, and then four call eight, and eight calls. It's just gonna. I feel it's gonna really spark something like that. It's just like that battle rapper Oh Solo. Like 8 years ago in his battle rap, he was saying, one of my niggas call three niggas, and three niggas call four niggas. Then four niggas call eight niggas, then eight niggas call 12 niggas, and 12 niggas call four more niggas, then four. Like it just keep multiplying. It just keeps multiplying. That's what it needs to be. But Kanye West know that he needed to at least spark the mentality of at least having that conversation. What he's looking to do is to spark that fire that's gonna, invigorate. It's gonna arouse. It's gonna rouse up that, that lion, that sleeping lion, right? Who shall rise him up, right? So have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Everybody's Kanye West's enemy right now. But I'm gonna tell you who's standing with him. The Israelites standing with him. The Israelite community, the majority of the Israelite community, because I've seen some Israelites saying, forget Ye, forget what he on, or he ain't keeping the commandments. And listen, if the Most High can make a donkey speak, then the Most High could use anybody to put them on the platform to bring this truth out. You understand that? Let me see. There's a scripture that says, "Who shall rouse him up?" Right? Look at this. Genesis 49 verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? So that lion gonna get roused up, man. You understand that? And Kanye West is looking to spark that innovation that's gonna, just multiply. We could do this thing if we really come together in one consent, in one mind, but in a righteous way. If we don't combine in a righteous way, trust me, that matrix ain't going nowhere. So the righteousness is going to be the key. The keeping of the commandments is going to be the key. That's how we really could overthrow this wicked kingdom and this wicked system. But before we go, of course, I got to show. Let's go back to Job 9:24 really quickly. For those of you, Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Let's see who the Most High calls the wicked. Let's go to Malachi chapter 1 and verse 3. Malachi 1 and 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waits for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4, we're going to see who the wicked is. Verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them, meaning Esau, the white man, the Edomites, watch this, they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So they're the people, it's plural, it's not talking about, like some people suggest, is the individual Esau. It says the people, all right, the Edomites. It says, whereas Edom saith, God said they are the people who God has indignation for towards forever, 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 forever. So the reason why the Most High hates the Caucasian, the white man, the Edomites forever is because of what they did to the earth. They raped, pillaged, plundered, murdered, went into everyone's country, took over their resources. That was their prophecy. That was their lot. They was gonna take the fatness and the dew of the earth, killed by the sword. They enslaved and subjugated God's chosen people, the Israelites. The book of Amos 1 and 11 says that his wrath will tear against his brother Jacob forever, and he's not going to stop. His hatred will tear against his brother Jacob forever. So God hates them. They're the people that poisoned the food, poisoned the water, created the matrix, fashioned the matrix. Well, they didn't create the matrix, but they enhanced the matrix, because the matrix goes all the way back to Egypt, right? And the Egyptians were not Edomites, but they definitely enhanced the matrix, and they definitely influenced the matrix to be on the level that it's on right now. So if you want to know who the wicked of the earth is, read Malachi 1 and 4. It says Edom, and that's the biblical name for the white man. It says God is going to call them, meaning plural, all those descendants of Edom. It says the border of wickedness. So they're the wicked of the earth. When it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, it's literally talking about them, because as per the prophecy says, they're the ones who's ruling the earth right now. Watch this. And the people, again, plural, all the descendants of Edom, the Edomites, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. You understand that? All praises to the Most High. So, we're gonna end it there. But wait, hold up before we go. Really quickly. Quick news. Over in China, man. Oh my gosh, I gotta share this with y'all. Before we go, over in China, this is what they're doing, y'all. Let me just get this really quickly. Over in China, look what they're doing. Let me increase this so y'all can see. Let me know if y'all can see this. Look at this. Now it says, this is October the 21st, all right? This is recent news. Now it says, China's new generation artificial sun makes a breakthrough. So they're making a fake artificial sun over in China, my guy. This is what they're doing. Let me read this. So with its plasma current exceeding 1 million amperes, the HL-2M tokamak, China's new generation artificial sun, set a new record in the country on Wednesday for the operation of a controlled nuclear, so this is a nuclear thing, it uses nuclear energy, watch this, fusion device, according to the China National Nuclear Corporation. What in the world is they doing? Why do you want the artificial sun? Now, you see how these people playing like they're the Most High? You see how these people playing with the Most High? So not only they playing like they're the Most High, they're playing with the Most High. You see that? So it says the plasma current is a core parameter of tokamak fusion reactor. So this is purely nuclear. No, this is what I feel. I feel like the Most High is going to use this same plasma tokamak fusion reactor. He's going to use it, and he's going to make that thing just take out Moab, because Moab means nothing to him. For those of you who don't know what Moab is the biblical name for the Chinese people. Again, the Moabites, or Moab, is the modern day so-called Chinese people. You understand that? I feel that he's going to use this same fusion nuclear reactor and just blow up the whole of that city, man. You understand that? Just take them all out. Now it says the breakthrough marks an important step towards fusion ignition in nuclear fusion research and development in China, said Zhang Wolf, deputy director of the Center for Fusion Science under the Southwestern Institute of Physics, affiliated to CNNC and head of the HL-2M experiment, at an interview with the Science and Technology Daily. So the HL-2M tokamak, the country's largest in scale and highest in parameters, went into operation and achieved its first plasma discharge in December 2020. So this thing is on stream. This thing ain't something they bring in the future. You understand that? It's here. They said, what is an artificial sun? The nuclear fusion process that is occurring inside the core of the sun constitutes its energy in both heat and light. Fusion energy is considered to be an ideal ultimate energy for mankind due to its abundant resources and inherent safety. Look, I ain't gonna read no more because y'all could check this out for yourselves. All right, go to news.cgtn.com. Look for the article. All right, or just search online artificial sun. Go on Google, search for artificial sun. Read up on it yourself. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but what they're doing over there is crazy. I don't even want listen. Let me go to where it says what the most I said about the Chinese, man. What he says about the Chinese. Let me see. Somebody give me that scripture where it says Moab is like his washpot. It's in the book of Psalms, right? It's in the book of Psalms. Where that at? Now watch this. Psalm 60 and verse 8. Psalm 60 and verse 8. Watch this. Psalms chapter 60 and verse 8. Let me share my screen for those of you who don't have your Bibles next to you. Don't worry. Captain Messiah got you. All right, I got you. Psalm 60 verse 8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom I will cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. So Moab, most they say that's his wash pot. You know, when you got a wash pot, all your refuse and your germs and you go in that. Whatever you're washing and you got a wash pot, yeah, all the refuse go back in that wash pot. Most I said Moab or the Chinese is his wash pot. And that's why the damn Chinese so nasty. Look at the stuff they be eating over there in Wuhan, China. By the food markets, the outdoor food markets, they're eating rat, cat, and dog. Again, they're eating rat, cat, and dog. Because Moab is the wash pot. They eat whatever, wherever, however. And they think everything that's living is supposed to be eaten. That's why they did the damn wash pot. You understand that? Can. So, yes, family. There's one more article before we break out. Y'all gotta see this. Y'all gotta see this. Oh my gosh. You know, Cap gotta keep y'all up to date with the news of what's going on. What's going on? Okay, so now we went over the artificial sun. Now watch this. Okay, we're back on CGTN Moab again. All right, Chinese news. Check this out. Look at this. It says East China Shanghai has started administering an inhalable arm medicine. I'm not going to say the word arm medicine as a booster dose. So now it's inhalable. See how she's taking it through the mouth? She's taking it to the mouth like she inhaling a cigar. Look at what she's doing. No, they're trying to figure out all these innovative ways. Right? Moab. That's why they did damn wash pot. Right? And it says East China Shanghai has started administering an inhalable arm medicine as a booster dose from Wednesday, according to the Information Office of Shanghai Municipality. Developed by Chinese company CanSino Biologics, the aerosolized adenovirus type 5 vector-based, arm shot medicine, provides a non-invasive option. It uses a nebulizer. That's the thing that you put in over your mouth and your nose to change liquid into an aerosol. Aerosol meaning airborne spray for inhalation through the mouth, according to the company. So they're just finding more ways. You understand? To put this harmful medicine into your body. So they're gonna say you ain't got no excuse to take it. So it just shows you what they got planning, what they got coming up. So don't lose your guard. Stay vigilant. Stay being observant. You know what's coming around the corner. All these things. Y'all thought that they stopped with all of this. Oh, y'all thought. Y'all thought they done with this, but they're working in the background because they know what's coming next. So you guys be prepared. You guys know what's coming up next. You guys don't be off your guard. Don't be caught with your pants down, right? So this is what it is right here, man. This is what it is. So, woo! 3 hours 10 minutes. We've been going a little while, fam. But as usual, it always feels like half an hour when I'm with you guys. So, again, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell because you need to receive all the live alerts whenever we go live with the hot topics for that Wednesday night heat, bringing that heat out. All praises to the Most High. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. If you want to give your alms and give your donations and give your contributions, look in the description section in the YouTube section below. The MoBanking information is there and the PayPal information is there. Thank you so much for all those who do contribute, who do make it a little bit easier for us to do this work and to have the resources that we need to bring this truth out to you guys without fail, consistently, each and every time. So we thank you for those who have given of yourself, whether it's resources, time, talent, energy, you name it. Thank you so much. So this is your brother, Captain Messiah, with another Wednesday night heat. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you on the Sabbath day. We got a nice class lined up for. Every class we got is a nice class. So, without fail, we got to be consistent. Without fail, we got to go in. Without fail, we got to do this for our nation. Without fail, we got to make sure that we're doing this for our people. You understand that? All praises to the Most High. So, thank you. Again, our information is in the description bar below to give your alms, your contributions. Okay. Thank you, family. So we're gonna call it a night. I know I don't want to go, but Cap is very hungry. We've been on here for the past 3 hours. All praises. So catch the replay if you didn't. If you're just signing in again, subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, check out what we were speaking about in the beginning part. It was beautiful. This was a beautiful Wednesday night heat. Thank each and every one of you. This is Captain Messiah. I'm out. Shalom. Love y'all.